Hello to all you patriots out there in podcast land, and welcome to episode 315 of Canadian Patriot Podcast, the number one live election speculative outcome podcast in Canada. We're recording on Election Day, September 20th, 2021, wherein tonight we find out if we still live in a free country. As always, my name is Andrew.
We don't, and we didn't before the election.
Oh, as always, my name is Andrew. I'll be your gulag leader. And joining me tonight, we have Pierre, Brian, Gavin, and Dave.
Then we'd love to hear your feedback about the show. Please visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com/feedback or email us at feedback@CanadianPatriotPodcast.com. A version of the show is available on Stitcher and iTunes. Feel free to tell us how we should have voted to change the outcome.
We need your help to support Canadian Patriot Podcast. Visit patreon.com/CPP and become a Patreon. You can get a better quality version of the show for just $1 per episode. Show you're not a communist and buy a CPP t-shirt for $24.99 plus shipping and theft. Visit CanadianPatriotPodcast.com and visit the homepage and follow the link on the right.
That brings us to my favorite almost got through the intro. That brings us to my favorite segment. It's called What Are We Drinking? It's where I ask my co-conspirators for plausible deniability by consuming alcohol. We'll go anti-clockwise on my screen. Pierre, what are you drinking? And is it a cold shot?
No, it's not a cold shot.
I
actually drank it before the show. I thought I had another 4-pack in the fridge. And I was like, oh, this is my last one. I was like, well, might as well drink it. I was going to drink scotch tonight, but just in case we don't find out, I kept the scotch. So I'm drinking 40 Creek and Pepsi tonight.
Solid choices. I like 40 Creek. Have you had the Barrel Select?
Yes, it's not too shabby. That one I like to drink straight.
Yeah, as a straight whiskey, I'm also a big fan of the Barrel Select.
Yeah, that one I'll drink straight or whatever, but just a regular 40 Creek. Most of the time I throw some Pepsi in it. Sometimes I'll just drink it straight. I'm fairly easygoing and straight for that.
Fairly straight, fairly easygoing. Good to get these on the table for in case it gets cold in the gulag.
Yeah.
Yes. Shotgun big spoon.
That's fine. I was going to shotgun little spoon, so we're all set.
Match made in heaven. You won't know where one beard begins and the other ends.
Now I can't tell who you're talking about. Beards on the show tonight are majestic as always. We have a lot of facial hair on the program this evening. We'll go to Brian. Brian, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the old Milwaukee Red Can again.
All right. I might have to try that.
It's good.
I like the package. I like the artwork.
It's very nice. It's got a lady on it too. So
well, that's the appeal, you see.
That's the class right there.
Sexy
Gavin,
lady.
what are you drinking?
I'm the old standby here, Signal Hill and Diet Pepsi.
Also a solid whiskey. I drink Signal Hill by itself too, though. But
yeah, I do too, but I need to pace myself.
Yeah, fair. I think it's going to be quite a night, Dave.
Yeah.
I like your stylish hat. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking the same thing as my brother from another mother. Some more Signal Hill.
Oh, more Signal Hill. All right.
Cheers.
Thank God it wasn't breast milk.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I have a very exciting can from courtesy of Brian. Hops and Robbers Juicy Pineapple IPA. I'm a little bit upset that it's using my safe word, but I'm also pretty excited because it tastes not unlike a pineapple. Also, it's 6.5%. 6.3. It's a strong beer with natural flavor.
It doesn't belong on pizza and it doesn't belong on beer.
You are a communist. You are a communist, and I have unkind things to say. Pineapple is a perfectly valid. Pineapple on pizza is a perfectly valid topic, sir.
Nope.
Yeah.
I strongly disagree with you, and as a result, may have to book you a separate hotel room at an upcoming event.
I was gonna say, have you booked the first hotel room? I was gonna text you earlier tonight, and I was like, I'll just talk to him.
I'd prefer not to talk about that because, to be honest, I kind of forgot my day got away from me. So I have it on my list of things to do tomorrow. We'll see if tomorrow's list goes better than today's because basically all I've done is gun club stuff today, and it sucks.
I freed up my weekend to make sure that I'm there for both days now. So,
well, I appreciate
I did my part. That's
two. Well, I will get on that, and hopefully I haven't screwed us out of a room. So I'll do that tomorrow when they open.
All right.
We'll come back to this shortly. This is called foreshadowing if we use it as a literary device. Dave and I are alluding to a thing that will happen later.
Where the safe word is pineapple juice.
The safe word? No, just pineapple. Nobody uses
Pineapple.
2 words as a safe
can't
word.
be
That's
2
safe
words.
words. That's way too hard.
You might have already been
That's what she
violated by
said.
the second word, man.
I gotta say though, I'm reading the show notes here. I'm sad that Alan's not here because I'm curious what this BioSteel White Freeze electrolyte juice. That sounds,
Electrolytes. It's what
and Michelob
plants
Ultra.
crave.
that sounds very intense.
Like pre-workout with the Michelob Ultra just to get that beer taste.
I mean, if you haven't done that, have you really lifted, bro?
That's what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm getting back in the weights. This is what we're starting.
Yeah. Good man. Well, the weights is a good opportunity to go to the Patriot Challenge. 5 things every day. 5 things every day to be better prepared for your stay in the gulag. Exercise for 45 minutes. If you're Dave and you got some new weights, Dave scored some weights. Maybe make friends with Dave because weights are still expensive as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's hard finding somebody trustworthy on Facebook Marketplace. Just put it that way.
Yeah, whatever
Well, it was
you
hard
do,
before.
don't try and sell a guitar.
Boy.
Gotta be very stipulate that shipping is not included.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're not going to drop the guitar off? That's
No.
Sorry, it's a bit. Of a deal
this is
breaker.
unfortunate. Exercise for 45 minutes. Practice a skill for 10 minutes. Read a book for 15 minutes. If you're looking for reading material, we do book club once a month. This month, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. This month's book club is next week. So I have a week to finish this book, and I'm on chapter 4.
It's pretty easy read. I mean,
I'm gonna read it. Well, yeah, I'm sure it is an easy read, but I make
Easy-
notes as I
easy
go so
listen.
that we can have a
yeah. So we can.
yes,
Have,
but I have to
talks.
read it and understand it and have notes about it. Otherwise, we end up doing the
He's gotta
fiction
look
books where I'm
good.
just like,
Yeah.
well, or alternatively, somebody else has to read from
If
the
you
book.
go to the end of the book, the one that I listen to anyways on Audible, there's an actual website you can go to, made by John Perkins, that actually gives you material to talk about the book at book clubs. Legit.
That should be in the front of the book.
I was just about to say, I was like, watch. I was like, Sunday night, 10 o'clock, he's going to find that page. He's going to be like, motherfucker.
Just as we finish the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm putting that on the to-do list tomorrow. Dave, the hotel will have to wait. Where did we read a book? Drink 2 liters of water. Just water. Not beer, not pre-workout, not coffee,
Not even
Water.
electrolyte juice.
just water.
Yeah.
And complete 1 task that will improve your life, because you should always be improving your fighting position. And if you're on social media, you can get the template on the website and share it with your friends or your enemies, whichever. I like to tag the government in mine.
Right, because they
Tell
don't
them
know
what they've got waiting for them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying. Pretty
Shouldn't
sure.
get into the
any
cattle
of
cars
our-
just because they ask nice.
Pretty sure the
Yeah.
fact that I get out of bed in the morning is already more of a workout regimen than the military is nowadays.
You've got to assert that dominance early, right?
The trick is to maintain eye contact.
Whisper sweet nothings in their ear.
Yes.
Well, it's hard when you're looking at the back of their head, but yes.
Well, as long as you're maintaining eye contact, they look
That's
away,
exact-
then that means you're the dominant.
Yes, that's how that works. Pretty sure that's how that works. Also, Section 74 money, Section 74 challenges. They're looking for money. Go on GoFundMe. Send them a couple of shekels. They're over $26,000 now. $26,000 now, which is great, but legal battles are not cheap. And I think this brings us to our first little mini topic. We're going to do a couple little gun topics, and then we're going to go to election stuff later in the program, because live election coverage as we vote Trudeau out of office, or as the Liberal Party votes to install gulags and put me in them, we will be covering that part later in the show.
Yeah.
Or could be worse. NDP gets majority.
Either way, we will either be celebrating
Crash it.
see us live stream as we get swatted. Yes. It'll be one or the other.
Yes. Let me just make sure I got my gun safe keys on me.
I was
Okay,
gonna
we're good.
say, okay, 308 ammo is there, rifle is there. Okay, bring it.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
See, this is why you just need to podcast from inside of your gun safe. Then you don't have to worry about it.
I put a lock on my
I mean-
door now, so this is also my gun safe now. We're good.
Kevin
This,
podcast.
this
from
is my
inside.
gun safe.
That's great, Kevin.
And my gun safe word is not pineapple.
Good to know. Wouldn't expect it to have been.
Yeah, it's actually spotter ready.
On.
Fire, fire, fire.
That's one click left.
Well, let's talk about some shooting stuff. Brian and I went to a match this weekend. We shot the 22 quote unquote outlaw rimfire precision series match in Guelph, Ontario. It's not really outlaw because there's a bunch of rules and it's run nationally. So
Very-
as
Other than
as
that, totally outlaw.
as Marty is fond of pointing out, by definition, this is not an outlaw match because
league
there are
match.
rules.
It's
It's a
technically a
league
league
match.
match. There are rules.
It sounds cool.
It does sound cool, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and cash in clout at the Clout Casino here. I ran the very first Outlaw 22 match at the Guelph Gun Club before the 22 Outlaw Rimfire Precision Series, Canadian
So it
Rimfire
was an
Precision
actual
Series
outlaw
stuff.
match.
That was me
And we
Andrew's
literally
beat.
just set up like clay birds on hangers around the range, and I was like, "Well, you got to shoot those ones."
It was a great
And,
success too. We had like 50 people there. It was amazing.
We had 50 people. Dave and I had a great time. Dave and I
Yeah.
stood on the tailgate of a truck and used a sledgehammer to pound T-posts into the ground and stuff. And
Oh,
it was a great
drilling
time.
holes in clays to put strings through them because the
Yes,
clay hangers
people were
broke.
using power drills on the tailbed of my truck
Yeah.
to drill holes into clays and also drill holes
Yeah.
into the tailbed of my truck. But
Marty was using his old cooey.
Marty did well with that cooey.
He did. He
Yeah,
did
but
indeed.
that thing has several notches on it.
I would like to interrupt our regularly scheduled 22 autism to welcome Ian to the show, though. Good evening,
guys.
Ian.
Hey,
Everything's-
All
Nice to be
Ian,
back.
In order to catch up, are you drinking? And if so, what?
I'm drinking indeed. Actually, I was planning on doing Jack, but I ended up doing the Captain Morgan Special Reserve or whatever the spiced rum anyway, and Pepsi. So
nice.
Was planning on doing Jack, ended up doing Morgan. Sounds like a liberal campaign strategy, but whatever floats your boat.
yeah, well, I'll just keep up with the times, judging by the anticipated results, I guess.
Fair enough.
Or foreshadowing.
So 2022 outlaw match. Brian and I shot the match. Brian, do you want to share your experience? Maybe tell everybody what you shot and how it went and things that you've learned as a result.
Well, I showed up, for lack of a better word, pretty much blind. I really had no idea what it was. I showed up with a 1022 Ruger with a red dot on it. And when I got there, I found out pretty quickly that I was not prepared for the match, but I decided to shoot it anyway. And it was a lot of fun. Something else that made it a lot more fun too was getting a chance to watch Andrew shoot, which was pretty cool. But
Aw, thanks, buddy.
yeah, he ended up doing really well. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and it made me realize, what I'm lacking in the way of shooting and how I could become a better shooter. So yeah, I have plans to go to the next one, and I'm going to put a better scope on the 1022 to start, and then go from there.
All right. Well, I think that's a solid plan. Give my little recap and we can get into the details of the event. I shot my Savage B22 with a Vortex Viper Diamondback MRAD optic. And I was shooting in the production division because I can. My bipod cost almost as much as my rifle, though. So there was that.
It's fine. It's still production. They don't count them. Like, it's
It-
not
it
in the
was
rules,
what it is.
Andrew. It doesn't matter.
I know. It always tickles me that my bipod, because I just take my bipod off my center fire rifle. It tickles me that my bipod cost almost as much as my 22 because I think that's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
I did upgrade from a Savage Mark II from last season to a B22 this season. The Flush Fit magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rotary magazine in the B22 is a pain in the ass to load, but the Flush Fitness much more comfortable to shoot off of barricades and props and bags
Well,
and things.
I mean, the Savage Mark II is an excellent rifle. It's very, very accurate.
For
But that
$300, it's
magazine-
pretty much hard to beat.
Yeah, but the magazine is its biggest shortcoming because it is very picky. And if you apply even the slightest amount of pressure to the bottom of that magazine, it will not feed properly.
Yeah.
I think with any Savage, you're buying the barrel and everything else is just kind of a bonus. They don't really think about too much else, but you're just getting a quality barrel for the money you're spending.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I think
Pretty
you
much.
absolutely are. And this is one of my complaints with the B22 is that the stock is utter shit. The trigger's not bad. The action itself is good. The B22 has a decent bolt knob on it, and it's not an awful throw. It's not a great throw.
Basically the Mark II, but just with a different magazine, is it not?
It is
Basically, yeah.
it is effectively the Mark II with a different magazine. The rotor magazine is not good. I don't think it's easy to load. It's a pain in the ass to change.
It's not
but
like a 1022 rotary magazine. That's
no, it
fairly
is an
easy.
inferior design in my mind, but it feeds reliably. It works well. It's flush fit. These are all nice things. I do have a cheek riser added onto my rifle, which again was like a $70 upgrade. So
Custom cheek riser. Custom
well,
with a K.
custom with a K.
yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely didn't do it on the workshop bench using a Dremel.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a fun series, and I would recommend anybody listening to go out and check it out because it was fun. And at the end, they gave away medals to the top shooters in their categories, and there was also a raffle at the end of the match.
Yeah, Ken always puts on a nice prize table. He's
Yeah,
our match director at Guelph.
The
Our
one
match
thing that
director at Guelph is also our vice president. He does run a very good match, and he does go out of his way to make sure there are prizes for everyone that shows
I
up.
would say that the league in general is very good at that. They've got very good national sponsorship. And I mean, they're stupid fun. And it's the kind of thing that, yeah, you can go out and you go with your $300 rifle and your $300 scope and your $1,000 bipod, and you have an excellent.
I'd say
I mean,
the best thing, Brian, to do next time, especially at our range, because it's that weird 90 range, is just come
Not any longer, Dave. Not any
No,
longer.
now it's 10 meters or 10 yards longer, or it will be once they're done the renovations.
Yeah.
Still get the day before, that way the weather conditions are most accurate to what you're probably going to shoot the next day. Get your dope, and it's with the ORPS, it's always at 25, 50, 75 and 100 yards. It doesn't vary in between there, so you just get those 4 distances, and then that way to the next day you know exactly what you got to click your scope to, and having the right dope. So
what Dave is saying is game the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Take variables out of play that don't
Yeah.
need to be variables, because it's technically not a variable, right? It's 4 set distances, and so
well, I have this. I got this scope as well. I got a Vortex Strike Eagle.
Nice.
I figured that would be like good to start. A good start anyway.
I had that on my AR. I've shot to 500 meters with that scope. It's a very good scope.
So the 1-6 or the 1-8?
They're both equally as good. It's the same thing. It's just different reticle.
The 1-6.
Yeah, the 1-6 as well. It was good.
Yeah, you'll notice a huge advantage using that over a red dot.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to definitely get out and learn that, because I want to be able to just, as opposed to do a holdover, I'd like to actually learn the dope and be able to just dial it back. Like watching some of the better shooters was really was impressive.
Yeah.
It was fun, and like I was saying, the prize table was really fun. I had my eye on this Vortex scope or a red dot that they had. It was like a $400 red dot. So I had my little raffle ticket, and I'm sitting there holding on to it. And then call the first guy, right? He goes up, and he like picks up the box, right, the red dot, and he like puts it down for a second. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he's not gonna pick it. And then he picks it up again, and he walks away. And I was like, fuck!
I actually won the Diamondback Tactical that I'm running on my 22 from Ken's match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
man.
really you have to go to matches with Dave because Dave always gets just about the most expensive optic on the table every time.
So what you're saying is you shouldn't go to matches that
No,
Dave's
but
at, 'cause then you
I'm
have a
good
better
on-
chance.
I'm good
Yeah,
on
but
scopes now.
Dave now has more glass than God, so he'd be willing to sell it.
Yeah.
I literally that was like that was the first piece I had to the new like centerfire build that's getting put together right now at the gunsmith was the scope. Again, I won 50% off a USO scope last year at the Northern Rimfire
You
series.
sent something out to a gunsmith. Do you not have your own Dremel?
It needs. I don't think you can use a Dremel to chamber the barrel, but you know,
I would
would've
have
Not
liked
with that attitude.
I mean, Marty did just get a mill, but a little late on that one. It didn't quite line up.
I'm not a machinist, but I'm pretty sure a mill is not the thing to chamber a barrel with.
Yeah, a Dremel.
You clearly need a Dremel.
Yeah, you just need to watch
and or a
one,
lathe.
I mean, he won
Probably a
first
lathe.
place. I have to take his word for it, I guess now. Although
one
I
or
did
two
win-
more YouTube videos, you'll be building stuff
Mm.
like there's no tomorrow, buddy.
And if you take too much material off, you got JB Weld, right?
Well, you just
Yeah,
whop an
that's
inch
right, just
off,
add it
start
back in.
over.
Good Gorilla Glue, you'll be alright.
That's right. Now you're a
Yeah.
gunsmith.
Custom with a K.
Yeah. So I guess the
Uh,
other biggest thing take away from that was getting to watch Andrew win yet another match of some sort. So congratulations.
I do
on that
like
one,
to
Mike.
win, and thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. And to be clear, I did not win the match. So just so
Well,
that like the
You won
the
your
other
division.
22 autists do not get angry and send hate mail.
Yeah.
I won the division I shot in, and I gamed the shit out of production. 'Cause
It's
I
all
can't
about
be,
that super expensive bipod.
buddy. I
Well,
cannot
and-
be bothered to spend the money on 22 to shoot open with these boys. They're showing up with $5,000 rigs. My
Yeah.
center fire rifle's not worth that much.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah,
was the other thing too. Some of those, man, just some of the rigs these guys had were
Yeah,
like, oh,
They're using Rimex and Voodoo actions that are $2,000 with a $1,000 barrel and then a $1,000 chassis and then whatever razor scope. You're over $6,000 once you put the scope.
Well, and that's what I mean. I can't play that. I can't play that game and play center fire. And
Yeah,
I'd much
exactly.
rather shoot with Dave because Dave, I love spotting for Dave. Watching him do the thing that he does on the range and being on the glass is, I mean, it's pretty magical.
Took another first place. Ragnarok is 2 for 2 this weekend. Just throwing that in there.
Nice. Well, we should mention that while we're here, Dave. Tastes like pineapple when you burp. That's fun.
Oh, God.
Where did you win your first place, Dave, and what was it in? And then we'll loop back around to the 22 stuff here because I have
I
the
was-
22 tism like you wouldn't believe.
I was up at the Milken Training Center shooting Keith's MOS, which is basically precision rifle service conditions, same matches I run with the ORA. You shoot from 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and Keith's added in movers at 200 as well. So we do mover targets at 200 and 400. You're shooting at like the military style targets of figure 11s and 12s, and it's shot in a pair. So you shoot the match, and then you spot for your partner, and he shoots the match, and then your combined score is what will go towards the final, the final goal of winning.
Man, that does sound like a lot of fun. I would like to. I didn't want to take on shooting Keith's MOS matches this year because Milken is quite a drive for me.
It is.
It's
made quite easy for
doable.
me. Yeah,
it's doable. It's just it's a
where is it
long.
exactly from you, Dave? How far of a drive?
Oh well, the thing is,
Halliburton
I was
area?
just gonna. Yeah, it's just south of Minden, right? But my parents have a trailer on Lake Chamong near Peterborough, so it's only like a 45-minute drive in the morning.
Nice.
There's nobody on the road, so it's pretty easy. Like start time's 8:30, so like I wake up at 7 and head out. It's pretty good.
Nice.
So, and
Sweet.
also,
Wow.
so you guys know, open invite to throw out a cot at the trailer as well for if
Yeah, I gotta go shoot
Future
some of
events.
those at some point,
Oh,
especially if they're only going to
sweet.
600, because I'll just use
Yeah.
my 5.56.
Yeah,
Like, which
exactly.
would shooting out there for that spotting class with it. I mean, it was banging all those targets
Yep.
easy. So
Yep.
I'm gonna show up and I'm just gonna come get drunk. I'm not gonna go to the match.
That's fine too.
Buddy,
That's
you
acceptable
gotta
behavior.
shoot the match. You gotta
Yeah.
shoot the match.
Have we touched on ammunition choice for rimfire?
Oh no, we haven't touched on any of this. We still
Oh,
got to
okay,
talk
good.
about divisions, classes, courses of fire,
Oh.
ammunition, optics. We got a whole there's a whole
Oh,
show until the election results
there's
come
a
out.
whole show on just ammo. Like that's
Oh, again, I have autism about 22, like you wouldn't believe.
Well, that was the other things I was gonna ask. Like I was shooting the blazer brass, which I don't know. but I
Well,
was
it's
thinking I was
22
gonna
ammo,
go-
so that's something.
I was gonna
Yeah.
go with maybe the CCI next.
I was gonna say CCI standard is probably your best off the shelf. Like go get it pretty much anywhere, and it will shoot damn good, especially 100 yards in it. It is pretty hard to beat for the price.
And it is subsonic for reasons.
For reasons, yes.
For reasons.
Me and Andrew, I believe, still both shoot the same ammo.
We
out
do.
of our
SK rifle match, the red label SK boxes.
And so the thing is with 22, and every 22, no matter whether you have the same model of 22, is it seems like every barrel likes a different ammo. And so you just got to buy these
Well,
packs
and-
that they
and it
sell at
does.
Tessero. Yeah, Tessero and Nordic Marksman sell these sample packs, and it's for that exact reason. They'll give you like 5-6 different ammos, and you just 50 rounds each, and you just got to try them all. Do 10 groups with them, and just see which one will give you the tightest group at 50, and then stretch it out to 200 if you can at your range, and see how it handles because the most expensive ammo from LE is the 10x, which is almost double the price of everything else, but it doesn't shoot my gun. It's one of the worst ones that I've tested, so I don't use it, obviously. so.
22, in my experience, is a very finicky round because of the way that it head spaces.
Mhm.
And the cartridge rim thickness seems to be the determining factor in accuracy.
Mhm.
Every 22 rifle is a little bit different, and they probably wear over time. I don't have proof of this, but my theory is that over time, the head spacing on them changes a little bit, just like it would in a centerfire rifle,
Throat moves up.
right? It has to.
That's why it's also becoming very popular now, is those tuna cans that are like basically you basically it's a weight at the end of the barrel, and it's usually got 60 different settings, and you just basically with each click you change the barrel harmonics. So if all you can get your hands on that weekend is some CCI standard, you just play with that tuna can, and you're not going to turn the CCI standard say into like the Lapua Center X, but you can get it damn close.
you will squeeze every ounce of accuracy out of that.
Exactly.
Well, and barrel harmonics
ammo.
come into play in a big way, and it's not centerfire, so you can't load for it, right? Like
Exactly.
if it was a centerfire, you would change the seating depth and the amount of powder and the neck tension until you got the variables the way you wanted them. You can't do it with 22, so you just keep trying brands of 22,
So you
even
find the one.
like individual lots of 22, until you find the lot that works best in your firearm.
And then you
You buy
it all.
the entire lot,
Yeah.
which is what
5,000 rounds.
Dave and I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
We were like, we will buy all of the SK rifle you have in this lot number, all of it.
exactly. I got 1,000 rounds left. Didn't do too much
Yeah.
22 shooting this year, so still got a good amount for next year as well.
And we just happened to luck out that our rifles both took they both liked the same type
Well,
of
and-
22. But Tessero and Nordic Marksman, I think,
Yeah.
are the way to go with the sampler packs they do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I've done too. It's the same, and you try it, and like you pick the one, and like the problem is like certain ammos will group really well at certain distances. So you've
Yeah.
really got to try them all at several distances and see, especially like for the outlaw ones only shooting out to 100 doesn't really matter so much. But if you start getting into the longer distance matches, then just because it groups really well at 100 doesn't mean it's going to group really well at 200 or even 300 or 350 that they have you going out to. So you've kind of got to do that and then pick one that does well at all of those, or does
Pick one that does well at all of
Yeah.
them that you can afford to shoot at all. And that was my thing, is like,
Yeah.
I don't have time to re-zero. I don't have the time or the patience or the money to re-zero a rifle between different kind of matches. Cause I might shoot, if I can, I'll get 2 or 3 CPRS matches in a season. And I could conceivably, if I don't have conflicts, shoot outlaw rimfire every weekend at my home club, which
Yeah.
if I didn't have conflicts, I would. But I'm not changing ammo every other week to do that because I don't have the time or the patience, and I shoot too many other guns.
Yeah.
So in my mind, get the one that works the best at the best price point,
And then buy
at the
also.
various differences, and
That has
try
the
to
best
just.
availability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, but also once you find the one, you just buy all of it.
Well, yeah, but you need
Which-
to be able to buy like 1,000 rounds of it for a season so that you can shoot it for that season and not have to worry. If you have
I
to
mean-
re-zero your rifle for the next season, whatever.
You're not wrong, but I buy more. I unfortunately am at the point,
Yeah,
having
yeah,
gone through several U.S. elections and now several Canadian elections,
Yeah,
and
if you can
several
buy
ammo
more, always
shortages.
buy more, but yeah, you wanna,
If you haven't
Yeah.
cracked the foundation in your house, you don't have enough. And I'm not
Yeah.
advocating that people go into debt to do this, but like if you're gonna buy a couple hundred rounds of 22, just buy 1,000 rounds of 22 and call it a day.
yeah.
You're surprised
And
how
that's-
fast you
yeah.
go through it too. Like
Right. And
honestly,
that was the thing. Like when Dave and I bought, we just bought a case.
yeah, which is
5,000.
5,000 rounds.
5,000 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, 5,000.
Yeah.
And
Five,
yeah,
five.
I mean, I went to a buddy's farm on Saturday and shot some long distance 22 with him, and we shot 150 rounds. Like I went through 3 boxes, just doing like we set up like 3-4 stages out to like 300 yards, just messing around. And you'd be surprised because it's like, oh, I want to shoot that again. I did okay. Oh, I want to try that one again. And then it's like, you've already shot 300 rounds, and that's like, you're almost halfway through a brick.
Oh, I think we went through 1,000 rounds in less than 2 hours with 3 of us shooting in the bush there last month. It was just
Yeah.
takes nothing.
No,
Yeah.
it's literally nothing.
So-
Yeah, there's
especially
no
not
recoil, it doesn't
22.
hurt.
Well, I mean, especially if you're dealing with ammo shortages or anything else, it's like why worry about how many times you're pulling the trigger for something like 22? Just buy in bulk and then
Well,
just
yeah,
kind
you-
of carry afloat, right?
Yeah, I buy all ammo pretty much in lots of 1,000 or more, but like 22 is definitely one of those ones. You just go buy a brick,
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like literally like
or
80
two
to
or
100
three or
bucks,
four. Yeah.
And for any other 22 rifle, I wouldn't care so much. But for this stuff, when we're talking about 1/4-inch targets at 25 yards, I would like to use the same ammo every time, because that a 1/10 of an inch is the difference between a third place and a first place finish in those
Yeah.
conditions.
it's tight.
Yeah,
There's some of those targets are kind of little.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
1/4-inch one is basically just a stick,
yeah.
and I pride myself.
It's the
in saying
stick that
before I
all
say
the
it.
other ones are welded to.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
I
you
guess
really
with-
gotta just try the different ones. Yeah, the sampler packs from those places are the best that you can do. See what works for you.
Mhm.
I mean, there's some ones that seem to work well for most people, and you kind of pick from one of, somewhere between 3 to 5 different brands that all make quality ammo.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole, like, do I go subsonic or supersonic? And there's some debates for one or the other. But
I would say the other thing I would say is for scopes, because the thing is you're going to do the ORPS matches, and then you're going to want to go to the CRPS matches. And the way there's always going to be stages where you don't have enough time to dial, like actually move your scope to the right setting for the distance.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to use the hash marks. So
Yeah.
buy a scope with a Christmas tree reticle. And my personal recommendation is the Diamondback Tactical, the 4-16 or the 5-25. It's they're $600, $500 depending on when you buy them, and it's got the reticle you need, and it's 22, so you don't have to worry too much about them. I mean, they're good scopes, but I don't know if you guys can think of any other better ones at that price point. But
No, it's hard. The
better than
Cabela's
the
Covenant
Reticle.
is not bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard mixed stories about those though. I know.
But aren't they just Vortex relabeled?
that's
I
what
don't
I've
know.
heard.
I had one guy. I've had 2 guys actually that have gone through fucking. One guy's gone through 4 of them, and the other guy's gone through 2 of them.
Well, and
Do rimfire?
but I mean, the same thing that happens with
Rimfire, yeah.
Vortex is like if you have problems with Vortex, you send it back several times.
Mm.
And shout out to my buddy Daryl at Vortex. He comes through every time and fixes my shit.
Oh, every
Yeah.
time I've come out ahead every time with Vortex. That's the thing. It's like every
Yeah.
time I send something in, I come out with
But-
it as
well,
good or
but that's
better.
that's the problem though, Ian, is we have to keep sending our stuff in. That's the
Yeah.
Well, see,
Uh,
I'm that one. I have one thing that I just haven't got around to it that I need to send in, and I have a bunch of Vortex scopes and red dots and everything, and only one of them's got a problem. and
Yeah.
I just haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah.
But I mean,
have a
I've
fair
got
bit of
the
Vortex
Covenant
stuff,
on
too.
on
That's
Angela's
Angela.
rifle, and we haven't had any problem shooting it. Not that we've shot that particular one a bunch, but it seems to be working just fine. The only downside I find to the Covenant, it only comes in MOA.
Which is fine if you
Yeah.
speak MOA. I prefer
Well,
to work in mills because I'm
I
lazy.
do too, but like, if you don't care or you speak in, imperial versus metric, then it's not a problem at all. But if you only speak in metric, I would definitely then go with the Diamondback Tactical. I think either of those are in that same ballpark. But-
No, I think it also all depends, right? If you're only gonna shoot out to 100 yards and do the outlaw matches, I mean, those like when I started hunting, right, my first rifle I spent all the money on the gun and barely anything on the glass. I got the Cabela's caliber specific rifle on sale for $100, and I mean, I wouldn't trust it shooting out, 400 or 500 yards, but I mean, where I hunt, I'm lucky to have a 50-yard shot, to Bambi or Bambi's dad or
Best thing
Bambi's
to do
mom.
if you're not sure about a scope is to just do a ladder test. And this can be done on your 100-yard range. You
Yeah.
just need to get a piece of paper and just grid it out to the distances that are, so 5 mil, 10 mil, 15 mil, and basically max out the scope up and go left and right maxed out as well. You're always aiming at the bottom point, and then when you fire, the bullet should go, at what you set the scope to, and then come back
And it
down
should
to zero.
return back to
Yeah,
where you
And then when
started.
you, and then when you return it back to zero, you have to take another shot, and if it goes back through, in a decent spot back to that same spot, then your scope is tracking good and it returns to zero. Those are the two biggest factors of whether a scope's going to be good or not. Does it return to true
Yeah.
zero that you came off of, and is it going where you've set it to? Is 2 MOA that you've dialed working out to 2 MOA at 100 yards, which is very easy to tell, right? It should be 2.01 inches or something like that. An MOA is 1.046 inches, I think, at 100 yards. So
Yeah.
something
See,
like that.
I haven't tried that with that one yet. I'm doing load development for hunting rounds or whatever. But
Mhm.
after that, that's going to be the next thing is I'm going to trace that round or track it because
Yep.
no, I mean, like I said, I bought the scope on sale for $100. I'm like, it's a 4x12, but I'm like at 100 yards, it's flawless. I'm like, I don't shoot deer at 600 yards.
Yeah, if it keeps
Right?
zero.
Yeah,
As long as it holds, man. That's
it
the-
holds, and like I said, I'd be lucky to have a 70-yard shot where I hunt. So I'm like, do I need a $700 scope, 5x25 to shoot at 50
Yes.
yards? I mean, if I've got the money, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then that's always the problem, right? Is it's always
Right?
the trade-off of the money versus what you can get by with.
But that, that's just why I'm saying, like all depending, like if you're only gonna do the
Yeah.
outlaw matches out to 100 yards, do you need a $900
I mean, if I could run a
scope?
razor on all of my rifles, I would.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Even
I'm
on my
not
shotgun.
yeah,
Right?
just cause, yeah.
No rifle barrel. I never put slugs through it. Only birdshot. Yeah, I'd still
Yeah.
put a razor on it. If I
Yeah,
could.
that's why you got to get a sponsorship with Vortex or something.
Yeah.
Daryl, hook me up, buddy.
Yeah.
We should touch on classes and divisions and things with the 22 matches. So there are some rules around rifles and optics. The rule of thumb, if I can use a misogynist rule of yesteryear, the rule of thumb is based on that you can't beat your wife with a stick any larger than your thumb.
Yeah,
Is-
it's actually in the Outlaw Rimfire Precision Manual as well, which is really weird.
But the rule of thumb, not the stick for your wife, the rule of thumb for the outlaw matches, rifles cap out at $500 MSRP in US currency, not Canuck bucks, 500 American dollars, and optics have to be under $700 MSRP in America dollars.
I'm glad that they adjusted that because the first season or two, it was very awkward finding things under their,
Yeah, it's basically a savage or nothing, basically.
yeah, or like that
Well, and-
one model of 1022.
Yeah.
They do have an approved list of rifles that you are supposed to be on, but it's sort of
I think now with the
the honor
500
system,
with
more
the
or less.
500 USD now, I think that also has been able
The
to bring the 455 CZs into it.
Yeah, the CZs are there now. I
Which is
believe.
A nice rifle. They're good. They're very nice.
I
Yeah.
believe the approved list is more of a you're not allowed to do this list.
Mhm.
Like the approved list is sort of like the opposite of like what you're. If it's on this list, you're not allowed to shoot it, right? Because it has like by manufacturer. It's like Voodoo. None of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Just none.
No.
does that qualify for that? Which one is it? The Tika
Open.
T1X?
Yeah.
No.
it's
These are all
too expensive.
22s.
Yeah. The 22 Tika.
Oh, is
bolt
the
action.
22 T? I can
The
check.
T1X, I
don't off
believe,
the top
is
of my
over.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
T1X
yeah,
is what it's called.
Yeah, I think it's seven something Canadian. So I'm just wondering what it is in American dollars if that would qualify, because that's a nice rifle.
It is also.
The Tika T1X, all 22 LR variants except excluded. So the only excluded model is the UPR. So I guess there are
Okay.
several flavors of this rifle.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
like
know.
ones that come in chassis and ones that
Well,
don't.
whichever one is the Tika T1X UPR, that one is not production ready. It goes into open. Everything else looks like it goes into
I think the UPR is the one that
production?
comes in a chassis from the factory.
I imagine
not a
UPR
Tika guy, I
stands
don't
for
know.
something like Ultimate Precision Rifle.
Yeah, something.
Is
like
my
that.
guess. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I do like that. I do
No,
like
but
that.
I was just curious because like
Yeah.
I own a Tika and I'm like, yeah, if I could, I'd buy everything Tika. But I was just curious if that one, because that's
It
not
might.
a bad
I
bang
can't
for your
remember.
buck.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember. It might be.
There
I mean,
are
if
a
we
couple of
lived in,
other
like, a real
things.
country, we'd be able to use like 22 ARs for this competition, and that'd be amazing.
I wouldn't use a 22 AR for this. I would use a bolt gun. Same thing. Like 1022s are good to go.
Well, it'd
But
just be fun.
yeah, but you're only shooting 50 rounds for the whole match. It's
Yeah.
five approximately 10 round stages. It usually works out like it's 3 10 rounds, an 8 and a 12 is usually how
Yeah.
it works out.
So you're saying you don't have to reload once.
I was just about
Yeah.
to say, I was like, yeah, you can put a 100
Yes.
round drum mag on it. Boom, you're ready to go, man. You're ready to rock and roll.
But you got to think
So
of the
there-
children.
There are some things you can do in production division that you're allowed to modify. Bolt buffers, auto bolt mods for 1022s, extractors, external cheek rests, extended magazine releases.
Yeah, safety
That's-
things you're allowed to do.
Well, safety things and some like comfort things.
Fitment things.
Yeah,
like the cheek
fit-
riser, and you need to be able to see down the scope properly.
Well,
Yeah.
and I find that's probably why I do as well in production as I do, is because I have an enormous cheek riser to get up high enough to see
Yeah.
through my scope.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
a big one. The Savage especially,
That's what
it
she
really
said?
falls away. Really falls
So
away
to
from the
speak.
gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Savage chassis, the factory ones, really fall away from the rifle really fast. So like you're practically like up on top of it in order to like get your eye lined up with, you know.
Oh yeah, I have an
things.
enormous cheek riser at the highest setting to get a good eye relief, but it's there. If you go over those dollar values or you hit an item that is on the you must be an open list, you go to open. Those are the only two divisions, production and open, and it's based on the dollar value.
Yeah.
They do have some other classes. It's basically youth and everybody else.
Although
Under
I'm sure
18
that at
and-
some point there will be a vaccinated and an unvaccinated class as well, because those two people won't be able to.
Yeah,
compete
just
together.
A strong
just-
possibility.
Just scan, you'll find it. I've got my
Yeah.
passport.
I do enjoy the actual shooting of this. So this match I got to do this one with Brian, and every month, all the ranges across the country that run these matches do the same course of fire. 5 stages, 50 rounds usually, give or take a couple. 2-minute part time on all the stages, and they usually use one stage as a time stage to act as a tiebreaker. So the one stage, usually whoever shoots it clean and fastest wins. And usually stuff is hit miss. The scoring is all hit miss. So if there's 10 targets, it's a score out of 10. If there's 8, it's a score out of 8. If it's 12, it's a score out of 12. So it's just scored as hit miss, which is great. Some stages are shoot it until you get the number of hits and then move on. And some stages are just hit miss, which again, I think is great because it's like take a shot, move on. And sometimes it's like shoot it till you hit it. And if you run out of ammo, you run out of ammo because it's 10 rounds.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing in some of those cases. And it is with the 2-minute par time. This weekend, for example, I ran out because I had to rebuild a position in the middle because I shot the first position. I was fine. I went to shoot the second position and I wasn't in a good spot. I had to start again. And rebuilding that second position, I didn't have time when I got in the third position. I ran the clock out and did
I would say though that
off.
like 2 minutes is a good amount of time. It's not like you have unlimited time, but it's enough time that if you do it you properly the first go around, you've got enough time. But there is still a bit of time pressure.
There is definitely time pressure, and I'm a slow shooter, so I tend to use all of my time. I'm usually pretty close to the time running out.
You should though. That's the best way to shoot a stage, because the biggest thing that we try to I'm trying to teach new people how to do it is you can't miss fast enough. Just get the hits that you can get, and take your time, get the hit.
You're better to, especially for this one where it's more the hits that count than the time.
Exactly.
You're better to slow it down and make sure you get those hits.
Yeah, take 6
then
good
rush
shots
through and miss.
Yeah. Take six shots and hit all of them versus taking 10 shots and only getting 3 of them.
Yeah.
No, it's the way you should be doing it, Andrew. You're doing.
No, I know I'm doing it. I compared to a lot of people, I shoot very slowly. But I mean, I shoot well at service pistol. I shoot well at ORPS. I shoot well at service rifle because that's my game, right? Go slow, don't die. Or I guess go slow, get all the points, as opposed the opposite is go fast, don't suck, and
win all.
I have to go slow so I don't suck.
Well, it works for you.
It works for me, and it works for the games that I like because I enjoy this style of shooting because it is fundamentals and it is positional and it's not terribly complicated. Some of the stages are a little bit like it's a lot to remember. Like, okay, shoot prone, shoot off the top of the chair, shoot prone again, shoot off the seat of the chair. Like there is sometimes a lot to remember.
Yeah.
And the order of targets change because sometimes it's like shoot the near one twice, shoot the far one twice, shoot the close one once, shoot the far one twice. But I've also had position changes in the middle of all of that. So there is.
That's why I got a I can't remember the brand. I think it was S&J. I got the wrist coach, and that way I would start practicing it at the ORPS. You can use it at ORPS. I have a Amazon one that I started with. I bought a better one now, but just keep little cue cards with your come ups and the different targets. So okay, target T1, because usually not so much of the ORPS matches, but the bigger matches, every target's going to be like blue A is like this distance and blue B is for this one. So like each stage you're on will have color coded targets that pertain to it, because sometimes you're spanning across, firing across the field, but keeping that wrist coach on you, you can just do it's already up there because you're pretty much already got your hand out holding the gun, and then a quick glance for your settings to remind you what you got to set it to, or your holdovers is a really good way not to forget, because trying to remember that all in your head is extremely hard. And as we all know, when the buzzer goes off, it's like the the Men in Black thing. You everything goes right out the window. The stage plan's gone.
Shooter ready, stand by. What?
I do have some important listener feedback here though from Marty.
Okay.
Splits get chicks. Fuck shoot slow. Nobody sees the hits on the internet.
I mean, yes, but also
sounds like someone needs to get on the show.
Yeah, it sounds like Marty needs to come on and talk shit to my face. He knows where to find the link. I sent it to him. I don't know. I know I shoot slow. And this is why I don't do well at IPSC. IPSC's not my game. But 22 autism, I'm all about that. That tickles the autism in just like the right way.
Yep.
So I enjoy this. I think it's a lot of fun. If you haven't shot a 22 outlaw match or a rimfire precision match, I think it's worthwhile to get into because it is fundamentally positional rifle shooting, which I think is an important skill to have in the toolbox.
And you also learn
And-
how to shoot off of random objects, which may or may not come in handy in the future
Yeah.
when overthrowing certain.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's all about that milk crate challenge. We've been shooting off of milk crates for years.
Yeah, ladders, or
I don't know.
tripods.
Is this a new internet thing?
Yeah, people on the
Yeah.
internet are being dumb.
I
Yeah,
hate.
it's actually entertaining when you're just like, just like, fuck, there's nothing to do.
The
Yeah,
premise is that people
yeah,
are
watch
stacking milk crates up like at ridiculous heights, like
Oh, that challenge. Yeah, I
and
saw
they're
that.
they're
And
walking
eating
up
all of the shit.
Yeah, and then they get to the top and it wobbles and they fall and eat shit.
Some people are
Yeah.
getting jacked up.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
like falling on their face and like smashing up their teeth.
I seen
Yeah.
a guy like completely break his arm, snap his
Yeah.
fucking arm.
Yeah, and he deserved it because that's the
Yeah.
stupidest challenge I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah,
Oh, it is stupid.
stupid games win stupid prizes. Yeah,
Dumber than
It-
Tide Pods?
yes.
They're like on the same level. The Tide Pod
So-
thing's pretty.
I mean, if I had to
full
pick
retard
between
as well.
one or the other, I would probably eat the Tide Pod because I've got a better chance of not fucking myself up
True.
too badly.
But at the same time, I
I mean,
watched those
chemical
Tide
burns are a
Pod-
hell of a thing.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah.
the Tide Pod ones where the buddy was hitting it on a bong and pretty much puked and then went for a second one. But I haven't seen one where buddy fucked up his whole face and said, you know what, restack that shit. I'm trying this again.
I'm going again.
So-
I'm going again. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's room for debate there. But yeah.
Not much room, but there's some.
Not, I suppose. I guess I'm gonna take a moment and pat myself on the back since I did get 45 out of 50 possible points on the match this weekend in Guelph for the.
Shot a 45
Rimfire
out of
match.
50.
Yeah, buddy.
Impressive, man. That is.
Should have been a
Thank you.
46 because he missed a 5-inch target.
What were you? What were
Yeah,
you
I definitely
Well, I
like.
mean, it should have
I
been a 50
absolutely
out of
fucking
50,
threw with the last shot of the day. Stood up,
That's unfortunate.
freehand, unsupported, looked down the sights, was like, "Hey, look, a steal! Oh, look, the other side of the range."
Happens, man.
Ouch.
Sometimes that
Just
squirrel runs across and you just like,
Completely
See a hot
up,
rack or
just
something, and
It
I-
turns
yeah.
out it doesn't matter because you won it anyway, but that was pretty funny.
well, I did win the production division.
what,
The
what were you
top
overall?
shooters for the day, three-way tie for first place in open, 49 points.
Wow.
and the greatest thing is that you didn't have to give one blowy out to win.
Not a single blowy was given.
That
Yeah.
you know of.
I did contest a point, and fortunately, I had a lot of very good people on my squad that didn't want to argue with me because I am like the only person in the history of the shooting sports that will actually file a written protest
And win.
and win.
And win
But
the protest.
Well, yeah, obviously, because when you file a written protest, no one knows what to do with it, and they don't want to deal with that guy. And I am.
I bet you
that
brought that
guy.
sergeant major back to base camp when you handed them that piece of paper.
Oh yeah, because nobody ever files a written protest except me. But like as soon as I shot them, they're like 9. I'm like, no, that's 10. I'll contest it. And they're like, it was 10. I'm like, good, done.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. He went to all the trouble of writing it on the piece of paper. So
That was what happened when Dave and I shot nationals. They were like, well, no one's ever filled the form out before, so I guess he wins.
Yeah, the fact that you went through all of this. Here's your reshoot. Go ahead, bud. Let's get the range.
The range is yours, sir. You may shoot by yourself. Here is a Frenchman to keep count. And can we do this in English, please? One
You got my number.
one
just reach out.
again.
Which match was it? Was it the 200 deliberate?
No, I don't think it was the 200 delivered. I think it was the 400 meter mover. No, it couldn't have been the mover. It was
it's not a mover.
couldn't have been the mover. I'd have to
I
go
thought
back and look. I
thought
have it
was
in my
a
notes.
deliberate. Maybe it was the 500 deliberate.
Maybe it was the 500 delivered. Yeah, maybe it was the 5. I have
No,
it
it
in
was
my notebook
300. It
somewhere.
had to have been 300 because the 500 was when we were shooting in like the 45-mile-per-hour wind. It was ridiculous.
Well, I'll look it up in my notes at some point because no one but
find
you
it.
and I care about the history of this, and maybe
Andrew
Ryan
still has
Stacy,
the
who
form
doesn't
that
listen.
he's-
I do. I took a picture of it for posterity.
yeah, I still have all the scores saved
Probably
on
had
my
to
phone.
fill
Still
it
have
out
all
in
the PDFs.
triplicate.
Yeah, I still have all the PDFs.
Well, I mean, it
so
was the
you go to the
Army.
notes.
Well, Somebody hit the instant replay cam. We should move along. We are getting to be a little late. We were a few minutes late starting, but we were a few minutes late. I would like to touch on that there is another event coming up that you're probably too late to sign up for, but Dave and I are going to. The Operational Shooting Association Operational Pistol Championship is going to be at the Milcon Range near Minden, Ontario, October 3rd and 4th? Second and 3rd?
Yeah,
Second and 3rd.
Yeah.
October 2nd and 3rd. Link to register is in the show notes. I have no idea if they're full. They probably are.
I think there might be a few tickets left. I'm not sure. Keith will be there this year, so it should.
Keith will be, so I will not be the individual winner, although I will be on the winning team.
Yeah, we're defending champs, so come watch us.
So Dave and I are shooting with the same team we shot with last year.
Mhm.
Dave and I will be cuddling in the motel beforehand, as
And-
is tradition,
and drinking and passing out together.
and drinking
Afterward.
excessively because we have the recipe to success, and it's beer.
As one does.
So operational pistol with OSA is basically the same as DCRA service pistol, Dominion Canada Rifle Association service pistol matches, which is basically the same as the service pistol matches that I run at the Guelph Gun Club.
Exactly.
Which someday, if the ORA ever get ranges again, I will run at ORA ranges.
Apparently next year, from what I'm hearing.
Well, I've heard that before.
Yeah, fingers are crossed, toes are crossed, and
So it is kind of like bullseye PPC style shooting,
there
sort
is
of.
there is some movement involved in it.
There's a little bit of movement, and there's there's little minor stages.
It's the fundamentals, though. It's honestly it's the fundamentals, and it's for score. So there's metrics. It's all about the metrics.
Yeah, but I mean the cool thing about it is it's the same.
Yeah, you
I
can
mean, they
practice
call
it.
them matches, but stages.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again, so you can track your progress every time
Yes.
you shoot it.
And for our
So it's-
service pistol team, we can train the exact stage that we're going to shoot with the exact target at the exact distance under match-like conditions.
Yep.
Yeah, which is the neat thing about it. So you really can see your progress and that you're getting better or worse. Hopefully not worse, but
Well, no, but that's one of those things is if you change out a piece of equipment, if you change firearms or you change ammo, you can see how that impacts your score because the matches, the individual stages are the same from 1 week to the next. So when I run service pistol matches, it's always the same. I think we shoot 9 matches. I think it's 9.
On what? On the
yeah, it
first
sounds
day?
about right.
Or at your match?
At my match.
Yeah, I think so. Two.
Which my matches are just like the DCRA matches made easier to organize, and OSA matches are just more complicated versions of the DCRA matches.
And there's more. There's like 20.
There's more of
per
them,
match.
sure.
Yeah.
They
We're
just shoot
going
the
to end
rest
up
of them.
shooting.
Yeah.
So the OSA Pistol Championship, we're going to end up shooting. I think it's a little under 500 rounds when it's all said and done.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's about
And it's a 2-day event, and it's a team event.
the
so
first
there
day's
are
team event.
There are individual scores, and there are also team scores.
Mhm.
And it's best of. So
Yeah,
I think it's the 4 best.
Yeah, top 4. You can have as many people on your team, but your 4 best scores go to the score.
So it's like
Wh- wh-
unlimited Vickers, but for the team.
So
Yeah.
So get 2 other competent shooters, and I'll just come for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's
It's a
not
lot of
exactly open invite because they have some rules at Milcon about who can be there and such. But as long as you're relatively proficient, it's definitely not a problem.
It'll be a good time.
No, I think I'm looking forward to it. Dave and I are going to go get a sword. The winning team gets a sword.
Yeah.
You have to share custody of the sword, and you can't actually leave the property with it, but you get to take your picture
The
with
gold
the
medals as well. So
sword. You do
Nice.
get the gold medals.
So they give you like a little plastic replica to take with you, or like even just one of those ones that you like stick in the fruit on top of like a mix
No,
string.
just a
Okay.
picture that you're not allowed to put on social media.
yeah.
I'm
Can
just
you
hoping.
raise it up and say there can be only one?
No, I have the power.
Yeah.
Nothing.
as
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't
I have
end
the
up,
power.
as long as it doesn't end up as a sword fight between the both of you, I think we'll be good.
Well, sword fight can mean many things.
Yeah, that's for the
We'll be
hotel
playing
room
sword
after
fights in the
drinking.
hotel room.
Yeah.
Maybe. Loser gets big spoon.
Yeah.
Definitely
I've seen your
booking
Schwartz is as
separate
big as
rooms.
mine.
Definitely booking separate rooms. I'm
Sure,
gonna ask one of
Patrick.
my other teammates if I can bunk with them.
You're just happy to see me, or did you win service pistol?
I mean, A, I'm gonna win service pistol, but B, kind of gay, bro.
We call it GSP for a reason.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, I don't want to spend forever on operational pistol or service pistol or what have you, but it is a lot of fun. If you haven't done the matches and you're in Southern Ontario, you want to come to Guelph. There's no more this year because championships in a week, but I'll probably bring it back next year. And
But
if you're in
there is an
Ontario,
action pistol shooting coming up.
there are 2 action pistol matches, one in October, one in November, but it is more
Fun.
Yes.
definitely
get
not
chicks.
IDPA,
Yeah.
but it's more IDPA style.
Yeah.
Cease and desist
Rambo
won't hurt my
3 is
feelings.
the theme of it. Costumes are
so-
not mandatory, but encouraged.
I think I'm actually going to delay Rambo 3 to the November match in favor of
Okay.
October being the Canadian Secret Intelligence Service match in honor of my new friends.
Well, it's still
Okay.
fresh in our minds, yeah.
We could do that. Do we have any good movies with that one?
No, I got some stage designs in mind, though, so we can talk about
All right.
that later.
Any Tom Clancy, Jack.
I'm in. I'm in. Let's do it.
So, yeah, if you want to shoot action pistol, we got some
And so-
matches coming up
sorry.
at Guelph.
If you do think that you want to come to the OSA match, the service pistol match, go to the operational service, or sorry, shooting association.com website, one and the same, and the calendar has the link.
I just want to point out that
It's
that
an
is
Eventbrite.
completely the wrong URL, but otherwise everything Dave is saying is accurate. It's osacanada.ca.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That was my next question. If there's
If
something
you-
outside of Ontario, so
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it would
outside
be
of
the one in
Ontario,
California, and it was
outside of
terrible.
Ontario,
Check your
your local
provincial-
PRA, your Provincial Rifle
yeah,
Association,
they should run it, or if they don't,
they might run
start
it. It depends on the PRA, but the Dominion of Canada Rifle Association has published service pistol rules. Your local Provincial Rifle Association can grab those rules from the DCRA. If you can't figure it out, send me an email and I will send them the instructions. I'm on
Or
the
you could be the guy to start service pistol.
well,
in
no,
your
that's why
area.
I'm saying contact me and I'll figure out how to get you in touch with the right people to do that. Because as someone who sits, I'm not on the board at the RA. What am I on, Dave? I'm on the activities committee.
no, you're a council member as
Oh, I'm
part
on
of the-
council. That's what it is. I'm on council. Thank you. I'm
yeah,
not on the
but
board. I'm
you're
on
s-
council.
as part of you're the CQB match director, right? And I'm on the council
Right.
as the PR director.
I couldn't remember what they called it. So
Yeah.
if you need to get in touch with your local PRA, I mean, I can figure out how to get that done. If you need your local PRA to get the rules from something for DCRA, again, I can figure out how to get that done. Pretty well every province has a provincial rifle association and they all fall under the DCRA kind of sort of more or less. It's sort of, there's some legalese there, but like, again, get in touch. We'll sort you out. I've done it for other PRAs. It's not difficult.
Mhm. It's pretty easy to get going.
Yeah, especially service pistol. Service pistol is super, super low effort.
Mhm.
Which is probably why it's one of my favorite matches to organize it, because I can do it with like 2 ROs and like 24 targets.
And lots of coffee.
So much coffee and some horns. I got a new battery recently, but that's neither here nor there.
Did the old one finally die?
The truck battery will not hold a charge anymore, buddy. So I bought an easier to transport marine deep cycle battery.
It's a good call.
But
It did
like
the
I
job
said,
for the first season.
it worked out. It was free. And like I said, neither here nor there. Election updates, because it is 10:15 where I am. Some of the polls are closing. I got the updated stats from 338 Canada for this week. No big changes. Conservatives and Liberals both polling as of this morning, September the 20th, both polling 32%. NDP at 19, Bloc at 7, PPC at 6, Greens at 3. This is for the popular vote seat projections. CPC further down 125. Liberals now up to 148 in the projections. NDP up to 32. Bloc up to 32. And Greens at 2.
Yeah.
Has New Brunswick come through yet? Have they any?
Well,
Well,
so
let me-
I've got the CBC one up that's got the ones that they've closed and everything.
Because that's what
So
everybody was
CP
harping. Everybody's saying or hoping that the East, some of the East Coast, a lot of East Coast stuff was going to flip blue. Is that?
Well,
is
I
that
don't think
happening?
that's the truth. So looking at the CBC right now, 10:15 on the 20th, Labrador, Liberal, Long Range Mountains, Liberal, Bonavista, Buren, Trinity, Liberal, Avalon, Liberal. So the only place in Nova Scotia that might go conservative is Coast Bays and Central Notre Dame. In New Brunswick, the places that might go conservative, it looks like it's Tobique, Mataquac, Southwest, where else we got? That's still Southwest. That's Southwest again. Fundy Royale, and that looks like it. Nova Scotia, Cumberland, Colchester, West, and South Shore, St. Marguerite. The rest is conservative or up for grabs. So I'm not really looking at the East Coast as being a very favorable set of outcomes. That's not a lot of conservative ridings.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, it's looking, based on their projections on the CBC, if they can be trusted, which they can't. The Liberals, as of right now, are sitting at 127 seats, 22 of which have been confirmed. 105 of them they're leading the polls in right now.
Country
Yeah.
disappoints me.
Well, it's the East Coast, and parts of Quebec and Ontario have early numbers in to get to that 127 seats that
so
Gavin mentioned.
There's
So like it's
32 seats, I think, in Atlantic Canada. So like that's going to be most of those, as we just said.
well, and that's the thing, right? There's 30 seats in Atlantic Canada, 32 seats in Atlantic Canada, 22
like that, yeah.
confirmed Liberal right now, 8
looks good.
conservative.
I did laugh at I was actually, while you guys were going Tism on the 22, I was watching Max Bernier's riding, and turns out, I mean, it's only like, I think 3 of 200 polls that have closed, but Max's votes actually are preventing the conservative candidate from leading. I'm like, how ironic is that? So he's causing a vote split in his own riding, so the Liberal will win there too.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
looking
but
at
you could make the same argument about the Bloc. They have they actually have more votes for the Bloc than they have for Bernier.
Yeah. But I mean, you're looking at the numbers so far, and you've got 31 seats or votes, or 31,000 votes total so far across the country for the Green Party, and they're leading in one riding, probably where the lady is out in BC or Guelph. It's one or the other.
I was shocked of all the ridings in BC, only 2 are reporting so far. One of them is mine.
PPC has 50,000 votes total, and they are not leading anywhere.
Which I do have a hard time believing.
I mean, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure. Like once they hit the prairie provinces, they'll pick up some seats. I'm sure of that. But I think that's probably about the only place they're going to get seats.
I have weird and unkind things to say about the Green Party, because I definitely earlier today in the chat, I said to the other panelists that it was I thought Guelph might go green, or
they were green, weren't they?
No, Guelph is currently Liberals ahead, 45% Liberals. The Greens are way down at 9%. Kitchener actually has a green lead right now. Kitchener Center, 34% green, 24% NDP, 22% Liberal, 18% Conservative, and 3% for the PPC. And I guess a write-in candidate from the Animal Protection Party of Canada at 0 votes.
But how can you have a write-in if there's not even
but the
one
kitties.
with his name?
I don't know who this person is. They don't have a picture. I don't get what
if it's a write-in and their name is on the paper, that means at least one person had to write it down.
I don't know if they're actually write-in. That's hyperbole on my part, but
I think
I'm
Trudeau's
surprised.
writing, well, Trudeau's writing, they still have a Rhinoceros Party candidate, which is like above none of the. So, and
could you imagine how awesome it would be if he loses his riding and to the Rhinoceros Party?
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
There's a lot of strangeness in the Trudeau writing.
What is the Rhinoceros Party? What is that? Like
It's an old
They're
80s.
French.
Yeah,
Yeah,
70. They were going to repeal the law of gravity back in the 70s. That was one of their campaign platforms.
Basically, they're like, we will immediately have
batshit
to
crazy
pay if
party.
we win.
if we win.
It's the I don't know who to vote for. I don't like any of these people, but I don't want to spoil my ballot. Oh, look, there's someone in the Rhino Party. You vote for them because it's basically nonsense. Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know. The Trudeau riding, yeah, Papineau is an interesting looking riding at the polls. No polls actually reporting yet, but Trudeau for the Liberals, Conservative, Bloc, New Democrat, Green, Peoples, 2 independents, a Marxist-Leninist, and the Rhinoceros.
I thought
Not
Trudeau was
looking
a
good.
Marxist-Leninist.
It's not
No,
looking
an
good for-
actual Marxist-Leninist, not someone who subscribes to Marxist and Leninism.
I guess Trudeau's more Maoism.
From the looks of it, it's been fun, boys. Maybe we'll see each other at the camps.
Well, I hope to see you all at the camp. I mean,
That's where all
we're
the
not
cool
gonna
kids
know
are going to
for-
hang out. So
We're not going to know for quite a while, I think. And
I mean, I don't
Elections
intend
Canada
to be
was
able to be
talking about
taken to the
4 to
camp.
5
I don't know about you
days to
guys.
count all this crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like it's not good. It looks
Well,
like
it's-
we're done, guys.
Well,
It's still very early.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly think it, like we said in the chat again earlier today, most likely another liberal minority. So not much is going to get accomplished. And then they're just going to go back to the polls again in the year and a half. So we can make it through the year and a half and it'll be just like this time. Any bullshit that they brought up will just get wiped out anyways, because they're going to go back to the polls. Everything gets tossed. And then we go back to the polls again. So, just going to kick the shitty can down the road a little bit more and, hope for some more shit, less shit in a year and a half, basically, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, yeah,
I think it means the end of like handguns and.
but I don't think it does though, because I mean,
It does it because you look at Britain. They have these little sticks that are this long on the bottom of their grips
so
to then
you
skirt
see
the law.
all the
You know what I mean?
all the trouble that happened when Trudeau did the ordering council, right? Not that it didn't effectively ban the things that he tried to ban, but they're still in this weird limbo that he gave us a 2-year amnesty for. And like he had a majority for a while and couldn't get anything done. And then under a minority, it became even more difficult. And like the bill to decide what we were going to do with those things hasn't even passed through. And then they called the election. So we're going to end up in the same boat where even if he tables the exact same thing again, are they going to be able to push that through fast enough? Especially with now all the new things that he wants to add with like the magazines can only ever hold 5 rounds and they can't be like pin 30 rounders that hold 5. And the fact that now grandfathering isn't actually going to be grandfathering, it's going to be deactivation on the government's dime, which is going to mean that the cost of that program is going to go up, which is going to get some people all in a tizzy. And if people that do that stuff are smart, what they're going to do is jack the prices of like welding guns, because you have to get somebody that's approved to do it. So that will make the cost even more astronomical as a way to punish the government.
Yeah, but anybody who votes for those fucking douchebags isn't going to give
Well,
a
no, but
shit
this
if
is
this
the
goes
thing, though,
over.
is that they're already
over
going to do
budget.
that, but then now you're going to have to go and deliver this program that you originally said is going to cost this, and now it's going to cost that, and with all the other stuff, like
Doesn't seem
Yeah.
like much sticks to this
Oh.
guy. I mean, I
No,
hear what
but-
you're saying, but this guy seems to be fucking Teflon.
I
this goes
agree,
on.
but I mean, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to actively push anything definitive
agree.
through in
I
the
agree.
time with a
That-
minority government
Yeah,
again. And like
that's basically my point as well.
the party is going to lose like 2 minority governments in a row. The party's going to lose some faith in Trudeau, and they're going to look for somebody else. And I mean, I think they're going to either go with Freeland or Jagger, and then I think we've got something to worry about. But as of right
Can
now,
I
the CBC
pick
just
neither of
popped up.
those? I don't want
Yeah.
them on the TV. It's bad enough with the
BBC News
current one.
projects a
We
Liberal
have-
government that they just put up a banner and they had it in the wrong color. It was blue.
I wondered why it changed colors. Okay, that's
What a bunch of fucking
Yeah.
retards.
I wouldn't
So
pick
that's their
them with someone
projection.
else's.
But yeah,
Let's
so
see,
I
let's
mean,
see.
I think he would be stupid to go and immediately ban handguns, given that they're still legally fighting the previous ban.
Yeah.
I don't
And-
think he cares. I think he's gonna push
I'm with
it.
Brian, and unfortunately, Gavin, I have to disagree with you. Like, I understand the
Fair.
economic argument you're making, but I don't think the people running the government or voting liberal give a shit about money.
Well,
No,
I
they
don't
don't.
think that those people understand money at all. is
But
the
that's what I
problem,
mean.
but
Make the argument that this is going to cost us billions of dollars because the long gun registry cost us billions of dollars. I'm using hyperbole. I don't think people that
Oh
voted
yeah, but
liberal.
to
I
do
don't think
that,
the
they're
people in
going
the
to
Liberal
have to
Party
print
care.
more money, and then they're just going to crash the country faster than they'll be able to print the money.
That's basically their only hope at this
Crash it.
point.
Crash it.
Is hopefully the economy crashes before they can do
Well, but that's
any
what I mean,
more
like,
crazy
Can
shit.
I can I ask a weird, like, this is, so it was brought up in the YouTube comments with the live chat. It's
Crash it.
the polls close at 9:30 local time for your place. Why are parts of BC already reporting polls like
I think our-
Courtenay, Alberni?
That's my
On the
writing. Yeah,
island?
that's my
Yeah.
writing.
What? How do you have 3 polling places already reporting polls? Isn't it like 7:30 your time? Isn't that like 2.5 or 2 hours early?
It's
No,
all
I think we-
retired
we clo-
people. They went for like dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they voted already, and the polls.
Yeah, I'll has a senior special. No, I think our polls close at 7, and so because as soon as it gets dark, all the old people go to bed anyway. So, yeah.
Oh,
no,
your
I
polls don't close at 9:30. Okay.
do believe they do not.
But
I
but
thought
all
all they
depending
closed at 9:30.
all depending how many people have already voted, right? They can actually predict.
I know.
like,
I thought it was
Yeah.
weird that Courtney Alberni had already had
Do they-
polls reporting.
Somebody else was saying that they've got lineups, a mile long out these polling places. Do they have to keep the polls open as long as there's a lineup, or? is it kinda
I
like
believe that is
we're
the case.
closed?
Yes.
So
No,
it's going to be like when they come and do like the checkout is closed at the grocery store.
Yeah, it's just-
Whoever's already in line, they go and put that little thing at the end of the line.
Hang
Yeah.
a sign off your neck type of thing.
Yeah.
End of the line.
So, but
Yeah.
you can't go if the thing is there, but all those people that are waiting to vote still get
I'm
to vote.
so glad I went last week and did it. I just have
Yeah.
like no patience for people these days. So
No, I mean,
so I've had mixed, talking to a couple of people from work that were in long lines today, and talking to friends of mine that were not in long lines today. I think it seems to depend very, very much on your polling place. And I drove around town today. I drove around earlier, like
There
2 in the
seems to be
afternoon,
a
and
lot more polling places this year, which I think
there
was
there
the
does seem to be
plan
a
for
lot more
the-
polling places. But driving around where I
pandemic,
am, 2 in the afternoon, I had to go run errands, go to Canadian Tire, go to the post office, that sort of thing. Tried to go to the beer store. That was a mistake. Not any lineups. Going home from picking my kid up from daycare at 5:15. Lineups everywhere.
yeah, everybody got out of work, right? And everybody's going.
or just got up, all depending.
Well, yeah, they came out of their crack stupor and said, "Oh, I should."
Well,
probably
yeah,
go
the
see my
the
boy."
service been paying for their habit for a while.
Yeah,
Well, and
crack
I
only
wonder-
wears off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, from what I've heard.
from what I allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, sure.
But yeah, I mean, I went and did like my vote through special ballot because I'm special. And like there was one other person in front of me, that was it. But that whole process was ridiculous. So I had to go in, and then like I'm waiting for the person, because it's one person allowed into the room at a time, because it's like in an office building.
Oh,
So the person goes in and they do all the thing and then leave, and then you could go in, and the lady behind the desk with the giant plexiglass shield makes a big show of like wiping all of the stuff down. Right? Like, and it's to the point where like it's the desk and everything on it is still wet with disinfectant. So I'm like, I can't put my arms down because they're going to get wet.
So what you're saying is you know how she voted.
Yeah. And then I knew that from looking into the room. But anyways, they then go and hand you the piece of paper, because on a special ballot, you have to actually write down the name of your candidate. but they
And
hand me a
spelling
sheet,
counts.
and they hand me a sheet of paper that they've handed to everyone else from my riding that has the names on it. I then go into the little booth that, like, they didn't wipe the booth down. So put the thing down on the desk, and there's the big bucket of government issue generic pencils. So I take my pencil, write my candidate's name on it, and put it into the envelope. Go back to the person, and like, you have to seal the one envelope. You then put it into another envelope because the special ballots are basically mail-in ballots that you're doing locally. I then have to pick up the glue stick that everyone else before me has handled that has not been wiped down and use the glue stick to seal the outer envelope.
Well, see,
And
but
then-
because it's on the glue stick, though, the germs can't get off the glue and on
Yeah,
your hands, so you're safe.
But so then I
Yeah,
have to go and
it was
get
on the
a
news.
pen, because I have to sign the outside envelope to ensure that I have sealed it. That also was not wiped down that everyone else has handled.
Well, I
And
mean,
then I
that just
put it in
makes
the bucket.
sense.
Yeah,
That's because you
It's-
still got
it's
glue on
science.
your
Science.
hands.
Yeah, it's science. Science.
It's because there's still glue on your hands, so all the germs stay on the glue.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good. You're safe. It's safe. It's best, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I had no line. I picked Angela up today from work at 5 o'clock, and we were at the polling place by 5:30, and she was in and out in no time. So yeah, I'm seeing weird things where, like, different people at different times, on the advanced polls and the special polls, and the even on voting day, where like they went in and out like no problems at all, and then other places are just seem to be rammed.
Yeah. Like I went today and walked in. Okay, give me your phone number for contact tracing, or to specifically come find me and put me in the gulag camps. But just walked in. There were 3 other people. We were all going to the same place, in out 10-15 minutes. But yeah, I've heard mixed things all over the place. People standing in line forever, and some people walking in and out. It's makes me wonder, man. Makes me wonder if the rest of the fucking country is ridiculously stupid as we think.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm
Well, yes,
sure
but
there's 2 types of Canadians. There's the people that listen to our show, and there's the people that vote Liberal.
And then 99% of the other people.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they've got 120 seats so far.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess we've talked about this before. It probably bears repeating in case you haven't listened to the back catalog. The eastern part of the country is unfairly in charge of representation in our government.
Oh, sure, but if you need 170 to majority, and they're like projecting 120 so far for the Liberals, and then 24 for the Bloc, 20 for the Bloc and 24 for the NDP. I mean,
There's
those.
there's
What
the
was the-
majority.
What was
There-
the NDP's previous what was the NDP's previous seat count?
Like 4? Was it 4?
No, NDP.
No.
No.
It was like, wasn't it
NDP?
50?
No.
Weren't they up to like 40 or 50 seats
No.
pre-election?
It was. I'm reasonably certain it was around 20,
20-ish?
like maybe 18.
Yeah.
I don't think it was over
around the
20.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was over 20. I would think it was just a little bit under 20. Like I think it was like 18 or
I
maybe.
mean, if it's
19.
not Angry Charlie Angus, I don't care.
Well, it's not. It's the guy with the special headgear.
I know, but Angry Charlie Angus, at least as a NDP guy, I can kind of get behind because he's funny when he's angry.
You don't like the
It's
redhead
true.
guy from Labrador there that looks like a petter?
No, the old NDP leader. I mean,
Thomas
after Jack
Mulcair.
Layton, before
Mulcair.
Gurmeet Singh.
Thomas Mulcair.
Choose Mulcair because we care.
It looks like Saskatchewan once again is going to go completely blue. So
I'm
Yeah,
moving.
there's a
Oh,
good
I
go-
mean, shocking. The
Blue, or
problem
is it
is
gonna
that
go
the entire western part of Canada, everything past Ontario could go blue. It wouldn't matter.
yeah,
It's like 4 ridings. It's only like worth like 4 seats.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, but isn't Saskatchewan like actually only 4 ridings though?
no, it's got about a dozen or so.
Still
Is
not.
it really? It has that many?
I was waiting to hear. No, it's got 5, not 4.
Well, I mean, you consider that one riding is literally 2/3 of the province, right?
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Manitoba. Manitoba is only like 5 ridings.
Yeah.
Which is pretty ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, there's a million people in Winnipeg, right? It should be at least like
No,
2-3
not
seats
even
there.
close. Nope. But Winnipeg is actually surprisingly small. It's about
Really?
600,000 people tops.
Well, still, how
So-
many seats are in Mississauga? Because Mississauga is like 600,000. They should have at least that many. Probably 4 or
Mississauga's
5.
closer to 1 million now. It's like 850.
But still,
So
you
900.
probably have at least 4 seats
'Cause-
in Mississauga alone, right?
The reason the
Interestingly-
GTA, well, the reason the
so-
GTA keeps growing is because if you don't clean the butthole, more toilet paper gets
Yeah.
stuck around the butthole.
The
So-
dingleberries just keep
Yeah,
adding.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking dingleberries.
Oh,
Put it lightly.
the internet, the interns are telling me that it's 24 NDP seats in the current, or I guess I should say at this point, the previous government.
Okay, so it's over 20.
Okay.
I
So
thought it was
they're
just
not.
under 20, but I guess it's just over 20. That's
Yeah,
fine.
no. Yeah, so they don't look like they're
Yeah.
moving up too much, right? Because
I
I thought
I was hoping that the NDP were going to vote split the Liberals, but I guess they're all diehards on the red.
Well, but it doesn't matter. They're
yeah,
gonna
I mean they're
vote.
voting together anyways. So
yeah.
I was hoping that the vote split would be enough that a conservative would win, but doesn't. I don't think it's going to play out that way.
Yeah, that's not how vote splitting works. You gotta think about how it would affect you negatively. That's how vote splitting works.
Yeah.
Like like we talked a few episodes ago, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
very conservative, if you're
I don't think that people understand the fact that we need to get rid of Trudeau at all costs first. I mean, this is
Well,
my opinion. This is my opinion.
Oh,
Trudeau
that's-
gone at all costs first, and then we can worry about going more conservative.
Yeah, so I've got a total here by province. So BC has 42 seats, Alberta 34, Saskatchewan 10, Manitoba 12, Ontario 121, Quebec 72, New Brunswick 7, Nova Scotia 9, PEI 2, Newfoundland and Labrador 5,
How many did you say in Quebec?
72.
72.
And
There's
then
no
like
way they deserve that many. They have 2 cities that are like 1 million pop. I don't even know if Quebec's over 1 million. Like,
and
give
then
me a break.
Yukon, Northwest, and Nunavut all have 1.
Well, yeah, those are territories. They only get one.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. There's 72 in Quebec. I didn't even realize that. That's fucking.
It's
Well, but that's
mostly
where the-
southern Quebec because,
stupid.
like,
Bulk
Yeah.
of the population is.
Yeah, it's
Everything
mo-
north of the
mostly
French
But they
Montreal.
don't actually have a lot of people though.
No, it's
I mean,
mostly
they do.
Montreal.
Yeah.
They
everything
do.
north of the French River is like one riding.
It's one
At
giant
Batney-
riding and then
Yeah.
71 other ridings all
Yeah.
along the
No, but
river.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the demarcation point is, but like northern Quebec, everything north of like Montreal, Batney is all one riding. It's like more than 2/3 of the province is one riding.
yeah. No, the population in Quebec is actually a lot more than you would think. And yeah, it is mostly south of
Yeah, they're
Quebec.
all along the river.
like
They
south,
their-
yeah, like southern, yeah. They all like to get the cheap shit shipped across the states, but
So what's the population of Quebec and what's the population of Alberta?
I don't know
Interns.
I don't know
So,
off the top of
interns.
my head, but I can guarantee you Quebec has, I would
No,
say, double
I
the
know it's
triple the
more, but how
population.
much more? I mean,
I would
is
say
it,
2-3
is it,
times.
you think it's double?
Yeah, I think it's at least double. If I was to bet money on it, I mean, by money I mean like a penny, and then we'll just round down to nothing.
I mean, you got Calgary and Edmonton, right?
Okay.
Quebec
But
has
Montreal,
Quebec and
is both of those. Yeah, but Montreal is both of those.
So
Right.
Max lost his seat.
Oh, they called it?
Yeah,
They
called it for conservative.
How can you possibly call
At least they
this
didn't call it
already?
liberal.
There's 35 out of 272 polls reporting, and they're calling it. How does that work?
I don't know, but they say conservative elected.
Because Maxime
mean-
Bernier didn't get vaccinated, so he's not allowed.
I mean, yeah, sure, but like when less than a third of the polls are reporting, I don't know how you say that that's the.
And the marijuana party did not win either.
What?
Well, that's unfortunate.
No, a lot of
Maybe
people.
they finally be able to answer
Bushel
our
of
question again.
sadness.
Ben Collis,
They only answer questions before 420. After that, they can't be reached.
Yeah.
After that, they're
Big.
having a snack.
We'll get back to you, bro.
I was gonna answer questions, but then I got high.
Yeah.
Hey, man, the government that governs least governs best, and if they're too baked,
So
I'm
I
good with
mean, I
that.
don't hate that.
I'm doing some.
Oh, here we go.
quick
Chris should just get on the show. Chris is doing a good job interning tonight. It would be faster if he would just read this to us in real time.
Okay, but still,
Quebec's population is 8.5 million people.
34.
Alberta is 45 million people.
that's technically not double then.
Wait, what? 45 million
That's
people in
technically
Alberta?
not double.
Sorry, 4.5. Four
Okay.
and a half.
That's technically
Thank
not
you, because I was
double.
like 45. I was like, what in the fuck?
So technically,
I'll
they
be
should
right
only
back.
have
If we're gonna
60
keep
seats,
this party
technically.
going, I'm gonna need another beer.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
I've got-
I,
wh- while we wait for Andrew to
Talk
beer
amongst
up,
yourselves.
I
have
ran
a-
out of Pepsi. I'm just drinking it
Yeah.
straight now.
I have an interesting election fact. So there are 4 ridings that were established by the British North America Act of 1867 that have existed continuously without changes to their names or haven't been changed or anything at all.
To their line,
So
boundary lines.
there's one in Quebec, Beauce, Beauce,
That's Max's writing.
Halifax, and then another one in Quebec, Shefford, and then Simcoe North. So those have basically remained unchanged since 1867. That's kind of a neat little fact.
Yeah.
1867.
Yeah.
Time to update it.
So the funny thing is, they're calling such a big split in the liberal majority or minority government so far, but only 70,000 votes counted so far. Just, between the liberals and conservatives, and they somehow got an extra 30 seats. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Something like that.
Well, it's because a lot of them are, people that have passed away. So,
Yeah.
Just in a U.S.
Or
election.
vote
The
off,
dead
The
can't vote.
ballots, the mail-ins, yeah.
vote early,
the
vote
mail-in.
often. So they'll just keep
Yeah.
counting
Oh,
those mail-in
no.
ballots till they get the results they wanted.
Yeah. Oh, look, we found a whole giant case of them.
Huh.
On this
Yeah.
fat stack of liberal votes. Swear to God. bro.
Tabernacle.
Thanks, man.
Doesn't need to be counted. I already counted it. Swear to God, bro.
So it'll be interesting to see if the People's Party wins one
Think they're gonna win one?
somewhere, anywhere.
I'm sure they will.
Did they win any last election? No, right?
Nope.
No. But I think they're going to win a couple out in the prairie provinces. They seem to be doing quite well out there.
Well, that's fine. I mean, whether
And I
it's
mean-
blue or purple, it's basically the same thing, right?
Well,
I would
but-
assume they would vote together in Parliament, right?
Yeah, but the problem is the vote splitting. So,
Yeah.
I agree. Like, if we were in a situation where we had a conservative or PPC minority, and then the other party made up the other things to make it 170 seats, then yes, they would, for the most part, vote in step, like the Liberals and the NDP do.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, is that on the left, they have the mentality of strategic voting and voting anything but conservative. So they will look at the thing and go, well, in this riding, the Liberals don't have a hope in hell of winning, so let's vote NDP because anything but conservative, or vice versa. We aren't having that problem because people are just saying, and I get the argument of, well, if we continue to vote conservative and try to pick up the clean end of the turd, it'll always be a turd and it will never turn into anything else. So we need to not vote for them so that they get the message that they need to shift their politics and move further to the right.
I just
But
don't
if
think there's enough
At the same time,
right-leaning
then
people
we
in
have
this
to
country
suffer
for
the
that to happen.
consequences of what's going to happen when the left gets a majority again.
Can we stop saying that the conservatives are a right side party?
Well, no, I said move further to the right. I didn't say that they're right of center. I just said that.
I
you
just
can
don't
move
think-
further
No,
That's
to
I
the
just
right.
wanted I wanted to make sure that we're clear about that. The conservatives are not a right wing party.
No, we
No.
know this.
No.
They're,
But we
they're
need them to
centrist
move
at best.
further to the
but-
right.
Any show could be someone's first show, and I want to make it abundantly clear that
Yeah.
just because you're allowing other men to have sex with your wife does not make you any less of a man
No, it makes you a liberal.
Yeah.
or a
No, but to be
conservative in this
honest,
case.
100% honestly, if
The conservatives
if
just let
O'Toole-
fewer men do it.
if they lose, it looks like they are. If they lose, I'm like, I'm done with them. And I mean, I think I'm pretty much just
But-
done with all of Canadian politics, and I'm just not gonna give a fuck anymore. And I'm just gonna let whatever
this is
happens
the problem,
happen.
though. Like the
Well, there's too many.
Crash it.
Yeah, there's too
Well, that's the
many.
thing. I,
There's too many
my
people that
point
don't
is-
think like us
Yeah, well,
nowadays.
I think
guys, and
Brian,
we're-
like that's where I'm at with you, Brian. Is I don't think there's enough
yeah, but
conservatives in this country anymore. To no matter if
They're
we
not
all voted conservative.
conservative.
I
This
know.
is
I'm
where
just saying there's not enough conservative
if
thinking
you guys
people
are
that it's
fed up
ever going to
with
be
it,
able to. Yeah,
then
Yeah.
rather than not participating,
I will
you
always
need to
participate.
participate, but crash it faster.
Maliciously.
Yeah.
NDP all the way.
I don't think
NDP.
I could fucking bring
Block.
myself to vote.
Block.
Seats for the block in Ontario.
I would probably put the
fuck
X
it.
in the NDP thing and then just like immediately blow my brains out. But
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, if you're looking from a global perspective of this entire country, you're looking at the big map as far as you can zoom it out. It's shocking that Liberals can form a government when the only landmass you can see they actually have one is Labrador. The rest of it is tiny, concentrated in Toronto, Montreal, and nowhere else. It's like
exactly. Yeah.
nowhere else in the country do people actually have a majority liberal voting trend, except for those two little urban centers, and that decides the whole election. It's just it's
What I
mind blowing.
want I want Alberta to secede, and I will move there in a heartbeat. A
You-
heartbeat.
Bro, you're doing this the wrong way. The trick is to move there and
Yeah.
then get them to secede.
You're
Because
assuming
when
that
I move there and they do secede, we're not letting you people from Ontario
Yeah.
in.
you're assuming they'll let you in after they
You
secede.
keep-
You're going to be
You're a
my
fucking
sponsor. You
Ontarian,
already swore, bro.
bastard.
You already swore. You said you would.
But hey, we come as a package deal. I was Big Spoon.
I've got a business.
I did not
out
agree
there,
to big
so-
spoon, little spoon, but we can negotiate.
If we're going to convince Alberta to secede, we need to be there to drive the change. What did Gandhi say? Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
So
That
be the
sounds
change you want to see in Alberta.
Fuck Alberta, man. Let's just move to the states, or
But-
let's hope that the states
Florida,
invade
don't-
Canada
DeSantis,
one day.
Al- go.
Alberta, I don't know, man. We've played this thought game before on the show with some people,
Yeah.
and I mean it always is a fun game. Is like, if not here, then where?
Alberta
There
has
is
fallen,
no
man.
there is no good options.
Not
No.
in Canada.
No.
We're done.
No,
It's
anywhere.
done.
There's
It's
no
over.
No.
Yeah.
where
The
could
country
you
that
go?
we loved when we grew up is no longer, guys. I'm
Where?
sorry.
Well, I
So,
don't think the country that I
I could go
loved
work
ever
in-
actually
I could go
existed.
work in Utah.
Yeah.
I could go work at Salt Lake City.
No, but like,
tomorrow.
okay,
Yeah,
so you go to live in the
let's-
U.S. and you have Biden, and they're like, okay, federal vaccine mandates, everybody, here you go. Have
Yeah.
where can you
Second
go as a straight
Amendment.
white? No, Second
Yeah.
Amendment. You can't have machine guns. You can't have cannons. You're not allowed battleships. You don't get attack helicopters. What's Second
Amendment.
Amendment?
I'm in Utah. I don't need a battleship.
So I mean, let's
Bro,
really think
Salt
about it. Right?
Lake, you need a battleship. That's all I'm saying.
So
got
at
lake
least
in the
be
name,
able to
bro.
defend your house with a firearm, not like here
So-
where you can't even fucking do that. And then
So-
not only
But
that, they're
you
going to take
can't
away
in a lot of
our
places
ability.
in the U.S. And I think that's the problem.
That's
If
the
you could actually,
misconception. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
as
big
I
recently
think
as-
if you could do that,
As recently as July, Jason Kenney was like, we are open forever. We're never reclosing. No vaccine passport. I didn't know what a vaccine passport is exactly what he said in July. Fast forward 3 months later, he's just as bad as the rest of them. There is no
Yeah.
safe haven in Canada.
Yeah.
No.
Until
there's
such
not.
times they're a
Yes,
separate country,
Montana's also
which won't
good,
happen.
I agree.
Right. So I
yeah,
have 2
I'm
points.
I'm with Bane Ironhand on the YouTube. Build a wall, make the lake bigger. We don't
Right.
need Toronto.
Yeah, raise the water levels. Done.
He says he's got a
don't
pump and
disagree.
he's willing to help. And I'm not really skilled, but I'm good at following directions. So if you tell me how to weld, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I can point a hose. I'll fill it in.
Yeah. Hopefully
just-
we're.
Give me time to get out of here first, guys. Jesus Christ.
No, we're not in Toronto. We're just outside, which is why we're in perfect position to start building the wall and manning it.
Maintaining a perimeter, I do believe, is the term, right?
I don't think
That is.
it's stock is any better,
But
Gavin,
you-
unfortunately.
You
I do
can
have-
be the first defense for when people try and swim out of there.
I do think we should do the fun little thought experiment, though. Is like, if you could go somewhere, where would you go? Because I don't
There
think
isn't.
there are any good options.
There's
Yeah,
no
I'd go to
Or
what are you
maybe-
talking about? I definitely would go to the United States if I could choose to just go to US and get a
Okay.
job.
You're
Yeah,
at least
I'd move tomorrow.
but you
So-
just like best case scenario, you kick the can down the road a little bit
Yeah.
because look at what happened in their election. Like if
Right.
you think what's happening in ours right now is bad, theirs was way worse. Like
Yeah, I know,
they've
but-
actually come out after the fact and said that there is weird things that we have found that could probably be voter fraud. We should probably investigate this. And immediately it gets
But what I'm saying is like, yeah, okay, it's Biden or whatever, but still, he's still American. He's still an American.
no, he's not.
And Americans think
He's a
different.
Chinese communist. Trying to channel my inner Rush
He's,
Limbaugh.
he's an American in that he was born in America. He does not hold American ideals. He does not
Yeah.
hold true to the Constitution, the Second Amendment, or any of that
No.
stuff.
who are we talking about? Sorry, missed that.
Biden.
Biden.
Sleepy Joe.
Right, he doesn't even do the first
Bi-
amendment.
Biden is
right?
military
Like the
industrial
freedom of
complex.
space.
That's all he is.
He's
he
the
is.
great reset for the U.S.
Yeah.
Right.
He
So
is-
I've got.
Well, I mean, like
it's-
Obama was supposed to be the one that took all the guns away, and he didn't. I don't think Biden's going to be the one to do it either.
Yeah, but they're moving closer to that.
Yeah, they are really moving a lot closer. That like, they're trying to inch their way in until they
But
get to the
even,
point where they
even
can
as
take a vote.
Republican president, Trump didn't do anything good for guns because they got the bump stock ban under him.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, that got repealed because it was stupid. But yes, I agree. Like Trump did more to hurt guns than any Democrat ever did.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's not get carried away here. You've heard of the guy from California that implemented the assault weapons ban, right? Like,
yeah, but then that went away.
Yeah, they still got ARs. They just got weird grips.
But like,
yeah, fair
I'm-
enough.
I'm not going to draw the line of saying that, like, okay, fine, I'm okay with mandated corona vaccines as long as I get my guns.
You wanna
Because
know-
that's the reason I have guns. Is to
No,
stop stupid
I'm
shit
I'm
like
fine
that.
with being left
The
alone
one-
by the government.
The one
Yeah.
time where I felt like, oh wow, mine's actually cooler than American. You guys ever seen the Californian edition for the Sub 2000? It has that weird cover that goes over the pistol grip, so you can't actually.
Yeah. That's all assault style weapons in
like,
California.
what? I'm like,
You're not
what
allowed
the
to.
fuck are they doing?
You can't have a thumb hole stock or anything that you can wrap your thumb around in California.
That is-
because
Yeah, thumb
nothing you
holes
can-
are designed to kill the most amount of people in the least amount of time.
It's so stupid.
So going back to Andrew, what Andrew was saying. All right, I got two.
What?
things.
Andrew
So-
wasn't saying anything. Hear that,
Yes.
Caesar? It wasn't my idea.
So
we're merely
I-
speculating for entertainment purposes, as this is an entertainment podcast.
Its first beer was 6.2%.
That
Yeah,
wasn't
it's-
even the first peer, but let's let Pierre have his piece.
It's all the point too that through. So there's two things I gotta say. So one was my wife brought me more Pepsi because she's listening, and the second
Good
one,
one.
if you
Thanks,
could,
wife.
yes,
Good job, wifey.
yes, thank you, Mel. And the second one is where could you move? Where would you go? So if I could turn time back about 3-4 weeks, I would go to fucking Afghanistan. And I would cash in on all that shit the U.S. government left behind, and then I would return.
I want an
And
MRAP and full
I-
Too much to ask.
I am the government now.
Yeah, I would
Auto
honestly
M4s and an MRAP. Is that too much? to ask?
find me a Herc and I'd fly it for you.
I mean,
See?
Just
See?
saying.
it's the
Right.
Wild West out there, or the Wild Middle East.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah,
you're-
but
you're
the
not
song's
wrong.
not as good when it's the wild, wild, wild Middle East.
It's
Yeah,
like- It's the wild,
Hello, man.
wild far west. Like if you go west and
That's
keep
ring
going
tune.
west, eventually you end up in the Middle East. Right? Like the Earth is round.
I don't know.
So
Like I'm
I
not
know
wrong.
It's a little bit of hyperbole to say this, and I don't disagree. 4 weeks ago, to go get stuff from Kabul
fuck
would not be a bad plan. But even now, Taliban's like, well, not everybody gets to vote. You have to be in our favor to get to vote. And you know what?
Oh,
Not everybody gets to go to school either, because we don't really believe in secondary school for most people because they don't need it. And also no vaccine mandates. And you know what? Aside from like the stonings,
But even then, like,
And
Don't mouth off.
not the
Don't
cool
mouth off.
not the cool Canadian getting stoned. Right?
but like, I'm sure, like, if a large group of us went there, like, if we just decided, like, and like, obviously, hypothetically, right? Like, this is all made up. If we had our own transport where we could just pack up all of the things that we that we already own, and we're able to move a compound's worth of people and stuff, and just like transplant into a compound that already existed there that's been abandoned. I'm pretty sure they would just leave us alone.
I've got the beard. I could get comfortable wearing pajamas all day. Just saying.
Right? Like, kind of like
the manjamas are certainly a look.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I'll deal with it. Yeah, they look fine.
I mean, just like the Mormons in Mexico, right? Like, they were having all kinds of crazy problems with the cartel, and then they armed themselves, which is not allowed in Mexico, but they're doing it anyways. And then guess what happened?
So you mean gun laws don't gun laws don't 100% work? Like, if you're not supposed to, like
they got left alone. Like, here you have the cartels that were, like, you know, kidnapping their people and this and that and everything else, and they're like, no, we now have an armed compound. They just got left alone. So we'd probably be, odd, strange as it sounds, living a hell of a lot freer if we were just in Afghanistan and had our own compound than we are living our lives in
Yes,
Canada
but we'd
right now,
also
which is
have to
sad.
live in Afghanistan, and
there'd be
I'm
no-
not really down with that.
No LCBO, and our
Hey.
what are we drinking segment would be describing our current brand of tea,
Dirty water.
Hey,
and no bacon.
if I am there with you guys, I'm fine with it.
Berkey
Andrew-
filtered tea
Andrew's
water.
mead.
We
What are
could
we
have
drinking
service
this week?
pistol matches
Andrew's
every week.
mead.
We could shoot all of the 22 matches out to ridiculous distances every day.
But
From-
I'd rather stay here and fight because Canada's way better than that shithole country.
Yeah,
Well,
but I would've
what
just-
happened a minute ago to, like, you're gonna politically check out after this election. Now you're gonna stay and fight.
If it comes to if it's either Afghanistan or Canada, I'm not going.
What are you
It
even
doesn't
voting
have to be
for?
Afghanistan. I'm just saying, Afghanistan's got some serious points in the pro column right now. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there to stay. I just wanted to go there to get a bunch of shit that the government left.
Stuff.
Yeah, to
I
get
think
some
that-
supplies.
Some
I'm
stuff.
That's all I was
if
saying.
I'm
Yeah.
moving,
I'm an
moving to
opium
the US
farmer,
isn't a
motherfucker.
viable option.
I'm the cartel now.
Interestingly enough, from a projected versus actual wins, actually, the Conservatives actually won more seats so far than the Liberals. They're at 63 to 54, which is
So you're saying there's a change?
Well, and no, so I just noticed, like, there was a big shift. So they're now saying that the Liberals are projected at 153
What?
and the Conservatives at 120, which was a massive jump for the Conservatives just
Yeah.
now. So they must be starting to get
It's-
into, like,
Just
parts of
Ontario,
Ontario.
polls reporting. That's all.
Yeah,
And
but
part of
that's-
Western Canada. A
Yeah.
bunch of Alberta polls have been called. What the hell? Grand Prairie, Mackenzie, 24 out of 239 polls reporting. They're saying Conservatives. I don't see how you can be intellectually honest with that few results. But okay, sure.
Either that
Yellowhead,
or
same thing.
they're just going back onto, you know what? Nobody has ever vote Liberal in how many fucking years. They just know it's going to go blue.
Oh my god! I
Fingers
thought I
crossed.
just saw one that was a PPC seat. Where did it go? Come back here, you little shit.
no, it's gone. There's just nothing.
So I'm not going to lie. I could go. I could
Ryan,
go
I'm with
along
you.
with some of this.
This is why I want to stay in Ontario. Okay, we have fishing here. I don't know if you guys can see that.
I don't know if you noticed, but there's fishing in the rest of Canada as well. Actually, it's
Yeah,
you
great
can
fishing
actually
in
eat-
Quebec.
I didn't say Ontario. I said can.
Okay, because I was about to say, I was like,
I'm
Ontario
pretty
ain't
sure
got
you
shit.
said
for fuck-
Ontario.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, you said
Ontario.
Ontario. Not only that, but we can actually eat the fish out here. You guys have to actually have a safe eating guide in Ontario. What you can actually
Oh,
keep.
Lake
Yeah.
Ontario,
Yeah,
get out of here.
here.
That's Lake Ontario, maybe.
So I don't know. I'm going along with the chat here. So apparently, if I move to Afghanistan, my name is going to change to Allahu Pierre Akbar.
I like
That's
it.
not bad. That's not
So
bad.
if
That's
you
definitely
get a-
sellable.
So just remember that in case there's a collect call coming in where I need some bail money or you got to send
I see
I
one
don't know,
thirty.
something. Yeah, something. Just
Oh, hold on.
How would you
Someone's
pronounce Ragnarok?
bringing up the Albertans bringing up the point that in Alberta they have more mountains and less opium. That does not sound like a positive thing to me. That's got to be a negative. Like more walking up and down hills and less painkiller to deal with my shin splints.
It depends on which side of Alberta you're on, right? If you're east side, pretty flat, west side, very bumpy.
Okay, so just because there's no
In Alberta, I could
fields.
afford one of both.
But if is the weather okay to say fuck it and start growing our own?
Southern Alberta, yes. Northern Alberta, your growing season is going to require a lot of greenhouses.
Yes.
Okay, right? Because just because there's not a lot of those farms out there doesn't mean
Yeah.
we can't
Doesn't mean
capitalize.
it's not possible. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like that's what I was getting at. Yeah. So
Well, but I mean, I don't know if you grow opium. I would assume like in Afghanistan, it's an open air outdoor plant. I don't know if you're talking about opium or marijuana, but I feel like marijuana, at least the way they do it in Ontario, is a very controlled operation in greenhouses. So even though we
Sure.
have a longer growing season in Ontario, no, we have a bunch of grow ops near me. I drive by them
My buddy tried to
frequently.
start one near you.
yes.
So
I got one
they
in
do all their
I got one in
they
my
do all their
backyard.
professional grow ops in greenhouses, right? Around
All
here,
the
like the
tobacco
big commercial
farms.
ones.
Switched over to pot. It's more profitable.
Well, not an insignificant number of tobacco farms,
Yeah.
but most of those around here have turned over to ginseng, which is, I think, very detrimental. But that's
well, I mean,
again,
that's how
separate
you get a
thing.
big American penis. Is with the ginseng, I believe.
Big American GI. Me love you a long time.
Yeah,
$5.
Oh boy.
yeah. Tu beaucoup. Tu beaucoup.
I really, Chris, please, you got to get on the show, buddy. I don't know how to
Yeah.
PM you on. Well, maybe I don't know. I'm probably going to regret doing this, but I guess I could always kick
A quick
people
question,
off.
Pierre. Are my shirts in the mail? I forgot to ask.
Yeah, don't.
Oh, yeah.
Not yet. I had a
You-
very
you
busy
could kick
weekend.
people.
I had a very busy weekend. We got a
Okay.
smoker last week and we were smoking some ribs and everything. And then we got drinking.
Where's the
And
invite?
then
Where's the invite? That's all I gotta ask.
you saw the barbecue. I sent it on the group chat. I even had the camp. I still got the camper in the laneway. That thing will sleep like
Oh, here we go.
that
this
thing
is-
sleeps like
yeah.
18 people.
I'm used to
Right?
I'm used to the camper.
I want to come out and do a goose hunt with you or something, buddy.
Yeah. Come on down.
He's
Hey,
got
are you
all that-
going?
He's got all that
Yeah,
steel
Brian,
shot
are
because he
you going?
hates
Are you
geese,
going
yeah.
soon? I'm all ready to go. I got all my stuff. Do you want to do some waterfowl? Do you have a
Yes.
box? What's that?
I'll make it happen. Yeah, no, yeah, on the group chat. I got like 500 BB shots downstairs because it was on a good deal.
Well, I bought a couple boxes. I didn't get out of
Yeah.
hand, or nothing, but
No, I didn't either. I got 500. Someone asked me, "Do you really hate geese?" I said it's more of a love relationship with mashed potatoes and gravy.
flying cobras? No, I don't hate them at all.
No, I love them, man. I'll do it.
I really like duck though. I would really like to get
Oh, snap. I
Shoot a
think,
goose
is
in the
this-
face.
one joining.
The current elected seats, the Conservatives are in the lead. So let's just end the
Yeah.
show here.
Yeah,
Yes.
Conservatives
We're-
are coming in
we're
with
calling
the lead.
it conservative.
Doyle
See you
rules.
all tomorrow.
Yeah.
See you all tomorrow
Get out of here, buddy.
or at the gulag.
Well, that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just look for the
Conservatives
CPP
are up
flag.
right now,
Gulag.
confirmed 72 to the Liberals 65. 1.2 million votes apiece, 33.7% apiece. Liberals are still way ahead in twice as many ridings as the Conservatives, but right now, the elected stuff, the Conservatives are in the lead by 9 seats. So
We're in
let's
the belt. We're in the belt.
I mean, not to
see you
go
guys at the gulag.
to American politics, but I mean, it was the same thing with Trump, right? Like everyone was predicting Hillary would win, Hillary
And
would
then
win,
like 2
Hillary would
a.m. in the
win.
morning, and
And then all of a sudden, like the votes from the people that like finished work and then went and voted came in, and it was just like, like it
Yeah.
just jumped forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was at my parents' place for a barbecue, and we had some family friends over the other night, and they were saying that like they have never ever voted conservative, and they will be voting conservative today.
What
Yeah.
changed their mind? Did they say?
Yes. The majority of the things that changed their mind was basically Trudeau and his handling of the We Charity and the SNC Lavalin thing. Like,
good.
See,
Well,
I
at least
feel
some
like those
people
are-
remember. At least some people.
Well, I don't know if that's because I feel like those are things you have to be fairly politically in tune to know we're even going on.
SNC
Agreed.
Lavalin, I mean,
maybe
man, it's
not-
so
yeah.
blatant.
And
It's
so my
blatant.
even
The SNC
even my
Lavalin
mother,
was even so
Yeah.
long ago. Like
well,
when
my
was
mother was one of
SNC
those
Lavalin?
too, where she was just going to not vote, but she feels so strongly about voting out Trudeau for the same reasons, in that like she doesn't like what happened with all those things. And if if we were in the States and that was, say, Trump, that was one of the guys that got caught doing like a We Charity scandal thing, like he would be impeached for the 5th time. But
Or
here,
attempted
like,
at least.
yeah, Trudeau just kind of sidesteps it because he's made out of Teflon somehow. But like, so
It's
even
the
my
hair.
mother was going
It's
to
really
go.
just he puts it in the hair and you slick it
Yeah.
back. There's a
And
whole
he-
routine.
And then he
Yeah,
just fires anybody that
Oh.
disagrees with him.
yeah.
Well,
I
but
guess
you,
there's
gotta
a bunch of
you
people
can't
that-
just fire them. You also have to elbow them in the titty.
Yeah. And you can only
Oh.
fire them if they're like a strong woman that's spoken out against you and your shenanigans.
So I should work on my hair game, just in case it'll get me out of the gulag, and then I can help you fuckers escape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
But yes, as some others in the chat said, stay tuned for the Ragnarok Seer class on how to get out of a gulag, depending on election results.
I feel like we should do that anyway. The gulags are coming, man. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, then some stop the bleed classes because some other people
Here,
are
you
trying to hone
redneck
in on
Jesus.
our action.
That we just got referred to.
Yes,
I think
Pierre,
so.
Pierre has been Redneck Jesus on the show for quite a while because people in the YouTube keep calling him Redneck Jesus.
Yes, so
It's
I
fitting.
finally got on
You're
the
very
Discord
humble.
thing. I got on the Discord thing today, and someone was like, "Oh, Redneck Jesus." I was like,
You have
"If
arrived.
you're referring me to Jesus," I was like, "Buddy, we're fucked."
Mhm.
Just saying, right?
You're saying you've never come twice?
Oh, I do have a daughter.
I'm not saying that.
Well,
But
at least once.
I
definitely
did it
does
right
arise
at
again.
least once, right? No, but I mean, if people come to me for guidance, we got problems.
they may get guidance, but it may be misguidance.
I mean, it may
Same
end up
thing.
really shitty on their behalf. Not gonna affect me. I'll still sleep okay. But yeah,
I think it's gonna be a long couple hours here. I don't know if you guys want to stay on and watch this. I'm probably
Oh,
gonna get a little
I'm
bit more
going to
drunk
bed.
and go to sleep.
5 a.m. comes very quick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have a clear winner until probably tomorrow.
2-3 days. 2-3 days.
Well, I know. I mean, I get what Elections Canada is saying, but I don't think that many people voted by mail. And the way that they're already calling.
Well, no, not that many people
Ridings.
voted by mail, but we're gonna have to find all those missing ballots and
Yes.
Yeah.
fill them in.
Yeah, the way that
Yes,
they're
don't
already
worry.
calling
There'll be a
ridings
Canada.
that are not even closed yet. I don't think it's going to take us that long to do it.
Yeah, so there'll be some guy that works for Canada Post, right, trying to smuggle all these mailed-in ballots into the States, just as the U.S. was trying to
Yeah.
smuggle those into Canada, right? Like it's potato, right? It's you still get mashed at the end of the day if you do whatever.
Although I'm liking that now the Conservatives are at 75 confirmed seats and 67 Liberal seats. We're gaining, baby. We're gaining.
Well, I am really interested to see how they end up.
But Toronto's
ended
going
up
to swing
doing
because
in
none of
this
those
election.
those Toronto seats haven't been called yet, so it's just going to be like an avalanche of Toronto confirmed seats overnight.
Yeah, I don't
Well-
doubt that.
Oh,
But
15 the elections in 15, the elections in 19 both had 17, almost 18 million voters, and they were both like 67% of the
Voting population.
electoral population turning out. Yeah, the
Yeah.
voting population turning out. I am curious to see how this one goes because we're like rough math on this. We're at like 3.5 million right now. I would be very curious to see how many people vote in this election because I feel like
Gonna be a
I
lot.
think this could be a record number. Oh my gosh, Chris is on the podcast. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Good evening.
see what happens when you get a shirt out to
How
the
drunk
guy?
are you, Leahy?
Yeah, I
6 out of
just
10?
joined. I just joined to show you. Look at that.
See,
Look at that.
One of the only
It's a-
people in Canada
it's
that
an
has one.
audio
going to say,
podcast.
I'm
So
going
the-
to say that politicians don't make good on promises, it may take a while, but we make good on promises and we make t-shirts happen.
So
It's
I
only a
hope
year. It's only
I-
a year, but finally, better late than never.
I hope you like it. Me and my wife spent many hours doing everything.
Fantastic.
Just on that one specifically for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they redid it 5 or 6 times because it was just
Yes.
not perfectly square.
Andrew was very specific about the one, and we made sure it happened. So I'm hoping you enjoy it. We did we didn't spend that much time, but it was a learning curve. We made it happen. Hope everybody is enjoying the shirts as you order and they show up.
I want my sweater. Where's my sweat at?
You know what? The weather got so nice. I put all that shit on back hold. You'll get it when the weather cools down.
Oh,
It was like
I'm
10
gonna have
degrees
Climate
last
change
week.
is a bitch.
It was 10 degrees up
Get on
north
this
last
party,
week
please.
on the weekend. Up
You know
north.
what? It wasn't at my place, man. I was smoking fucking ribs in the backyard. It was hot as hell. So I figured nobody needs a sweater that bad.
It's
Put
just
that
gorgeous out.
shit on hold.
oh, thanks, Jesus.
It's sweater weather now. I want my shirt.
It's interesting how Trudeau got, basically called elected at 50% of the vote so far. O'Toole's got 50% of the vote so far. They won't call him as elected. It's like,
Yeah, he's
interesting.
got more votes
again,
for
it's
him.
like
Yeah.
3.5 million electors so far out of, I'm expecting we're going to do more than the last go round. I'm kind of hoping on 20 million people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at, I don't know, I think it's global count real time on the website. And it looks like it's going to be exactly the same count as before, plus minus 1, maybe 2. So it's all $600 million waste, right?
Well,
Well,
but it's government.
That's what they've been doing.
It's what they do
wasting money.
best. Yeah, what they do best. I mean, same thing with Annemie Paul. She's got 8% of the vote so far, and they're not going to say that she's not going to make it. But
Who's that's the Green leader.
yeah, and whereas the
Yeah.
incumbent's got like 51% of the vote, it's like I think it's not going to happen there for Annemie. But
Well, CBC News projects a liberal minority government. Big red banner.
Oh,
Okay.
They're slowly
Right.
changing their tune because it looks like the
But-
conservatives are coming on stronger.
thank God they were the
This
ones
is gonna
that video that no, they made sure that everything that happened, right, on social
Yeah, I mean,
social medias, they were the fact checkers for a lot of shit. God forbid anybody
man.
else would do their own research.
One way or another, we're going to be in another election in 2 years tops.
Yeah, but they say that it was about $1 million, 1 million mail-in votes, and conservatives are more likely to vote in person. Liberals are more likely to vote mail-in. So if really all of those or close to all of those 1 million are for the liberals, that may change the outcome. 1 million votes is about 8%, 7-8% of everybody who votes. So that might make a change.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
I guess it depends on how badly they're behind, how many mail-in ballots get entered into the system.
yeah, that'll be like a Dominion voting machine blip. Oh yeah, we just found a bunch and put them all into the system.
All
at
of
the
a sudden,
same-
there's an extra million votes. It's weird.
Yeah, weird. We it took us 3 days to process them. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My internet got all sorts of fucked up. I figured probably because I said I wanted to go to Afghanistan a few weeks ago. CSIS is trying to fucking do something.
Yeah.
CSIS is there, man.
Probably because your
Go-
wife logged on to COD. That's why.
Maybe that, but I don't know. It got all fucking glitchy. I was like, son of a bitch. I was waiting to get anal probed by something here. But we're good.
You
Yeah,
sounded
don't-
hopeful on that.
Don't
Yeah,
do that on
waiting to
air.
get or
That's-
like afraid
yeah.
of getting, because those are not the same.
All
no, that-
depends. If you
I mean,
speed
fair
up,
enough. My safe word remains pineapple.
Yeah, $20 is $20.
20 bucks is $20. And also, are you gonna buy me a nice dinner afterwards?
Well, if it were me, I would.
Yeah, no, there's no anal probing on this podcast. That was reserved specifically for Gavin McGinnis and his show.
Does that guy still have a show? I don't.
Well, I don't think he does after that.
I hope not.
If it is, it's on Pornhub.
Or
20 bucks.
OnlyFans.
20 bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but also no, thank you.
Yeah. You have to go and sully my good name.
Yeah, and your name's not even like my name. Like I've met, I mean, even within our close group of friends, Gavin, we have other Andrews.
There are too many of them, yeah.
Easy now.
There's too many
Like-
Andrews.
Yeah.
There's too many Andrews.
Wow.
Maybe not too many
Hurtful.
good Andrews.
When you win Service Pistol, take the sword. There could be only one. Just saying.
Oh
You say
boy.
home of the firearms program is going to be going conservative by the looks of it. Mirror Machine, New
Oh, is
Brunswick.
Miramichi going?
Looks like almost the whole province.
But how do
Almost.
you know it's even
Really?
BC if there's no 7
Well,
in the name?
Probably
sign.
not Moncton. And what's the writing next to Moncton?
Well, Moncton's where
Bonjour.
Moncton's where the university retards are. So
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So as it be Moncton, and the writing
Hey.
around Moncton is called Bonjour.
Our words, fine. Our words.
Yeah, well.
Well, there is hope.
Fredericton is
mentally challenged.
still showing conservative. I mean, that's where the University of New Brunswick is, isn't it?
There is some small hope if Trudeau will not win more seats than they had before.
Good.
There is some rumors that there will be a, I don't know, potential internal leadership challenge. The only reason he called in the election was to win the majority or to win more seats. If he doesn't have any gains, right, there might be internal trouble for him.
I agree with that absolutely. I think that one way or another, there will be a leadership change, whether it's now or going into the next election in 18 months or whatever. I don't know, but my prediction is that it's going to be Freeland or Chagger that run for the Liberal Party
Chagger.
the next go around.
Yeah.
Chagger would
Chagger
be
will be
my
the next
thing,
prime
'cause he
minister.
ticks 2 boxes.
See, so I just hope that you remember how there was that thing where Biden tripped falling up the stairs a few times going to Air Force One. I'm hoping
Yeah.
Trudeau has a thing going down, but something catastrophic happens a lot more than just like, oh no, I fell. Where it's like, oh no, I can't fucking get up and you gotta bury me 6 feet under. And then we can just get this shit show fucking solved right now.
Wow. I feel like that might be overly optimistic. I'm with Gavin though. Chagger for the next PM.
Yeah, sure. We'll get him in like right now. Just us. You know what? We should elbow him in the tit and push him down the stairs.
I mean, I'm not opposed to this.
Yeah.
And then we'll claim it as if we identify as a woman, we probably can't get charged. We're good. We're in the safe.
I mean, I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah.
A reminder that everything we say is under heavy alcohol use and for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, I've had quite a bit tonight. I'm not gonna lie.
We really need to get we need to
Cheers.
contact our
Kidding.
lawyer.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell by your
Yeah, no.
words.
Yeah, we need to get our lawyer friends on a retainer for the show.
I've had a little bit more than half of 40 since the
I already
show
told
started.
our lawyer he's on retainer. He knows. He's well aware.
Yeah.
Me and Andrew talked to him on
Perfect.
Friday.
That's true. I
And he
talked to
also
my
shoots
lawyer.
with
I
us.
don't know about the rest of you. I talked to my
He
lawyer.
shoots with us. He shoots with us, and he knows what's up.
Well, my lawyer's sitting right next to me. It's this empty Pepsi can. Say, right?
The Pepsi, yeah. Go
So
down to the
Liberals just
Panera and
jumped
get the
ahead.
Pepsi.
the Liberals have 84 confirmed now to the Conservatives 83.
Yeah, but in the same change,
Yeah.
who got their writing?
Yeah.
Was it Papineau or was it Durham?
I don't know. I'm not following the ridings, but
Oh, you need to look at more of the stats. So in the same update that you just saw, Gavin, Durham region said conservative win, O'Toole.
well,
So
that's good.
O'Toole gets his seat.
Well, that's good. I really hope the Rhino Party wins Papineau. That'd be amazing.
I do too. That would That would be
I mean,
nice.
or even like,
I kind of want the helicopter party to throw them out of it.
I mean, sure. I mean, I would also be fine with like literally anybody. Like, even if we get a liberal
A kitchen
minority,
sink, even.
I would be fine with that as
washing
long as
machine.
Trudeau loses his riding, just as
Yes.
that like kick in the pants.
I think we just need to spend some time and work on ourselves.
I'm doing that.
Less government.
We competed on the army run. We're working on
Oh,
ourselves.
disappointing news. They called Papineau. Trudeau wins.
Damn.
That's too bad.
The
If he
fuck
would have
is
lost
wrong
his
with
own
that
riding,
They're
Oh,
so
yeah, that
brainwashed
would've
in Papineau.
if he would have lost his own riding, I'm sure that would have triggered a leadership issue in their party.
You know
Yeah.
what? I bet you the only reason they voted for him was like, he's a fucking local. Vote for him. And then ate a Pepsi and Joe Louis.
Yeah.
Fucking dipshits.
Go get some 7-Up, huh?
Ah.
Yeah.
The entire GTA is red except for Thornhill. Even King Von, that was conservative, went red. Yeah, it's not final numbers, but it's painful to look at.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh man, I just looked at the Thornhill riding. The Liberals seriously put this Gary Gladstone guy on a poster with hair like that. Speaking as a man with almost no hair, like Jesus Christ, dude, see a barber.
Yeah.
Interesting the fact that Jagmeet's, I guess, the last one of the major leaders that has to win his riding, and he's not 100%, in a great big lead. So,
Oh no! Whatever will we do?
but you should see that. You should see the
Fuck
conservative
that
guys
guy.
running with him. He's like he's got like Herb Tarlick suit jackets on right now, like a pink kind of plaid.
What did he do? Kill Don Cherry and steal his wardrobe?
Looks like it, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Jesus.
Government paid for.
CBC is basically the NDP in disguise. So
Jack meat.
So you think he'll claim it on racism if he doesn't win?
Yes.
of course.
Consider the number 2 is also a person of BIPOC origin. It's yeah. I don't think you can claim racism too easily.
That you think of. Have you met him?
It's true.
I mean, we've talked about this before. The Liberals want to crush the economy quickly. The Conservatives want to crush the economy slowly. The NDP says the economy is racist.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. All right, gentlemen. I need to definitely go to bed.
All right.
Go to
well,
bed. I will text you promptly before you wake up to let you know which gulag we've been assigned to.
And what hotel room we're staying in? Yes.
Yeah,
Same
shoot me a
thing,
reminder
but
on your
different.
lunch break just in case I forget.
Oh, I will. Hold you to it tomorrow.
For the gulag, they don't tell you till you get there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we can share big spoon, little spoon duties. I like 50-50.
So
Good
you're
night,
the middle guy, right? You're the middle
You know,
guy that flip flops on.
I'm not centrist, I guess you could say. Good night, guys.
Right,
all
man.
right.
See you,
Hey.
buddy.
Bye, Dave.
Well, I don't know how much longer it's worth watching this thing because it's
Angering.
well, no, like
Disappointing,
the,
yeah.
the Conservatives are showing more seats on the board still, like confirmed seats, elected seats, I guess is what the CBC calls them. But
But
the
yet-
Liberals have more seats they're leading in, and the popular vote is almost identical. It's still like 33% for both Liberals and Conservatives.
Yeah, it's just I think the big thing is that none of the Toronto ridings have been declared yet, which is going to like side heavily in the Liberals' favor. So
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah. Because
Well,
if the arsehole can't fucking decide anything, it's to vote Liberal.
Well, the one thing the article can decide is can keep spewing out shit,
Yes.
and that's
What-
what it will do.
And Toronto
What-
is good at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the results pretty much show that no matter what the blackface will do, people will keep voting for him, right? And that's sad. Well, sad.
It's because they don't want to be claimed as racist if they don't vote for him.
But it's not everything that he's doing is.
Yeah, I mean,
the
if you
racist
don't vote for the
happening.
guy that's brown, you're gonna be. Oh wait, no, that wasn't his actual skin color. Wait, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'd be NDP, and yeah, we'd just crush the fucking plane even faster.
Crash it. Crash it.
Crash it.
Get little
I mean,
flags made up and say that.
I've got a shirt for that.
Perfect.
Man, they have basically called all of Manitoba and Alberta.
I stopped looking at it because it was getting me angry. I was just like, how can, like, looking at like what you've counted and everything, like how can you know what, I'll just give it a day or two and then see if I need to take a gun with me to work or not.
I don't know. I'm glad to see that they haven't called my riding yet, and I'm hoping that my flyering pays off. But it's not looking too good at the moment.
Yeah.
But you know, Gavin, I handed out 500. I was at Costco, maybe about 100 in the neighborhood, and 300 at the Von Mills Mall, right? And the reactions based on the people's facial expressions, sometimes a word or two, were like, yeah, 50-50. Some, oh yeah, I already voted liberal. Oh, that's my man. Others like slurs that I will not repeat who the person on the cover of the pamphlet is. It was really very either on one side or on the other side, very decisive. Not many people who were undecided.
No, it was either you were like, oh my God, Trudeau again, or fuck it, let's get him out. Like there was no in between for this.
I don't think there's a lot of people that are voting for O'Toole. There's a lot of people voting against Trudeau.
But unfortunately, right in the heart of Alberta, they got one little NDP riding still, same as last time. Good old Edmonton Strathcona.
Is that Edmonton? Yeah, fuck Edmonton. Edmonton's the worst.
I was just about to say we should all move there, and then we can change that riding in no time.
Well, I think North Edmonton. What's North Edmonton called? Edmonton and Batch or something?
Griesbach.
Sure. I feel like all of Edmonton is probably going to go NDP. Maybe that's not the case, but like,
no, I
feel like Edmonton historically goes NDP.
Well, it's the only place in Alberta that does normally. I mean,
North Calgary will probably have the Liberals as they have in the past. What's that? Calgary Sky? Yeah.
Skyview. Yeah.
I was gonna say Sky Hill, but I think that's their other riding, isn't it? Nose Hill.
Nose Hill. That's Michelle Rempel's.
Yeah, they're adjacent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we could be here all night. I think it's probably good to just call it for now.
Well, why don't we do the outro?
Oh, yeah.
We'll go around the table, so to speak. That's not really a table, but we'll go around it anyway. We'll go
the virtual table.
Which way did we go this morning when we started? We went anti-clockwise. This way we'll go regular clockwise. No, we couldn't have gone anti-clockwise this morning. Or you've all moved. Or I've had a lot to drink.
Probably both of those things.
I went first for what are we drinking? Now, if we've moved from there, I got no fucking clue, buddy.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Well, let's talk about book club this month, September. Next week, we're doing John Perkins' Confessions of an Economic Kick Man. And maybe we'll touch on the election results. Maybe we'll have them by then. Maybe we won't. Tune in next week to find out. If you are looking for books and buying on Amazon, or if you're buying anything other than the Books for Book Club on Amazon, if you do use the affiliate link in the show notes, we get a small percentage of the profit from that. They give us a little finder's fee. It doesn't cost you anything extra and takes money away from Rocket Dick Man and puts it in my pocket. And I appreciate that. Someday I want to
idiot. Don't be a
someday I want to have a rocket dick.
Don't we all? Don't we all? I think I solved our problem from earlier. You know where we can move? The moon.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
I mean,
We could start Moon Unit Zappa.
But then you pull George Floyd, you'll be like, I can't breathe all the time.
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
You're gonna get soft from lack of gravity.
I'm already soft.
It's all the liberal voters in that area.
For Discord, there's a link in the show notes. You can go hang out there. Pierre's on Discord now. I still have not caught up on my hundreds and hundreds of unread Discord messages. At this point, I'm probably just going to uninstall it and to give up. It's kind of like my gun club email. I'm just never going to get around to it.
It's mostly just memes that I posted. That's all.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad I'm only missing funny things, not important things.
But yeah, no, there's some good ones though.
I figured it out. My wife's got it, so I downloaded whatever.
Nice.
Two people were like, "Oh, hey Pierre." I was like, "Holy fuck, people enjoy me on the show." Hey,
Yeah.
I enjoy you on the show.
Redneck
People
Jesus,
do
man.
enjoy you on the show.
I'd hope so. I mean, at that point, if they enjoy everybody else, they won't complain about me. So the more people we have on, the better chance I have of not getting voted off the island.
I just enjoy triggering people with my gun rack.
Actually, it's a good comment. It looks pretty awesome.
Oh, you should see it in person. It's fucking dope.
Wow.
Can't believe you guys are checking out another man's gun rack.
Nice rack.
But
I've seen
Son, if you're
literally
looking at
the
another man's
458 is
Wow.
still there and it's still rubbing up against stuff. Just to trigger some more people.
There you go.
Well, let's go anti-clockwise for real this time. Gavin, where can everyone find you?
Well, I guess it depends on whether we're victorious in the election or not. So you either find me in one of the many gulags that have already been established, but if we do still have some even minor form of freedom, you can find me on the Graham Urbix GTA, all one word.
Ian?
Well, you can find me in the Discord group. Also, when I choose to show up, it seems I've missed the last 3 weeks. You can find me on Canadian Prepper Podcast on YouTube and Facebook, Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about get ready to fight going to the gulags.
Yeah,
Or
to avoid
at least
being in them.
keep myself from starving out before I go there. I don't know, like random other stuff.
Fair enough. Chris, do you have anything you want to plug? I do want to thank you for tuning in and joining the show and
Oh,
Thank
thank
all
you
of your
very
comments on
much.
YouTube.
In the virtual world, you cannot find me much. In the protest, canceled all of my accounts a number of years ago, but you can find me on Gab under my old ham call sign, Sierra Papa 5 Whiskey Alpha Tango, on Discord, which, in my circles at work, is a huge hit with memes. Right? It's wonderful. In the real life, well, come and keep digging the tunnel with me for the worst times.
There you go.
I like it. Pierre, where can everybody find you? I hear you have t-shirts.
Yes, I have t-shirts, off the wall customizing. Not gonna lie, you'll probably be talking to my wife. She's figured out that whole socialist media thing. I downloaded the Discord thing, slowly figuring it out. And apparently, since I'm the new Jesus, you can find me in the New Testament.
The New Testament.
Yeah,
to be
New
specific.
Testament. You must bring your own ammo and rifle, and yeah, we can talk tactics. Something, or just fuck it, balls to the wall. You can find me
You can find it in Gulags 1214.
-556.
And while some people carry Kirpan, we can just concealed carry, right?
Yeah.
Dash.
I am not very good at the Christian religion, but I am reasonably certain that Jesus told Luke to sell your cloak and buy a sword.
Yeah,
I'm
and something
pretty sure he
about sell your Xbox as well and do hard things with your friends.
Don't worry. The guy that ratted him out, that got him on the cross, he said, even before the guy did it, he was like, "It's all good, man." So
Pretty sure he also said something about taxation is theft and then flipped over some tables.
yes. So there's that too. But I mean, yeah, I'll probably throw you under the bus before you get me on a cross. But Yeah, you
same
never
thing.
know. You know what? Purchase the book. Go check out some t-shirts. We can get you some stuff, and we'll talk about the finale when
And 20
that
bucks
time
is 20
comes.
bucks, right?
Yeah, $20 is $20, buddy.
Let's spend it on a shirt.
Yes. We have lots. Anything you can think of, we can probably make happen.
Brian, where can everybody find you?
If anybody needs to contact me, you can hit the show, the feedback. It's in the show notes. I want to give out a shout out to you, Andrew. I had a blast at the Rimfire match. And
Good. I thought this was going a much different direction.
No, and then I appreciate the pistol training after. So that was awesome. I learned a lot. So shout out to you and everybody.
Well worth the $500 you paid for it, right?
Shh.
I could have taught you lots for $20, buddy. Just saying.
Oh boy. No, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you made it out to that match. And I'm glad we got some pistol stuff in afterwards. It was a good way to spend a Saturday.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I have to stop teasing you about the t-shirts because the t-shirts are there right now.
Yeah, you got nothing.
I have to find a
I'm sure you'll find something new, Chris.
It's not hard.
When are you going to start offering the courses?
Yeah, all right. There it is. That's
So yeah, because
we solved one problem on the next
fine.
one.
It's fine. It wasn't like Chris was also there Saturday after the rifle match to also enjoy some very, very discounted pistol training.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we need more of that, and we need more of that on more regular basis because it was amazingly useful.
Well, I'm glad you both had a good time. I enjoyed shooting rifles. I enjoyed shooting pistols. I think we should do more of these things. And if there are more listeners that want to get involved, it's very hard as an adult man to make friends. It's like my 3-year-old's like, hey, you want to be friends? Which unfortunately is the method I've adopted, but I only do it at the gun club because I'm like, hey, you've got guns. Do you want to be friends?
And why do I have a feeling your kid has more luck with people saying yes than you?
Well, it's because his
Likely
kid's
the
less of
beard.
an asshole.
I mean, also true. Also,
I mean, not like
yes.
not
I said yes.
yeah, not an asshole, but less of an asshole. Yeah.
well, a smaller
Yeah.
asshole. It's hard to make friends as an adult.
Yes.
So the gun club is a good place, I think, to make friends. Go train with people. Go find things in common. If nothing else, try to get assigned to the same gulag because I'm very worried what we're going to wake up to tomorrow. But I mean, I think Brian, was it you that said it? That's not the Canada we grew up in.
Yes, sir.
And I fear that you're right, and I fear more that the Canada that I want to exist is not ever actually been the Canada that we lived in.
Well, I fear that's you're right in that. Yeah, the thing that we think that we had, we never actually had, and it's just getting worse.
Oh, I had it. Trust me.
So
I had it.
just a quick thought, since we're hoping we're all gonna get in the same gulag, we need to figure out what firearm we can disassemble the idiots, and we can all hoop a piece, and when we all get in there, we can rebuild that shit.
Put it in the
All
old
right,
prison
we'll
wallet.
talk about this later off air.
Yeah, this
thought
goes
we
into
agreed
private
on
chat.
No hooping
Yeah.
talk on the podcast.
I mean,
I'd prefer that we didn't have any hooping talk.
again, Gavin McGinnis did that on his podcast.
I say I'm going to shotgun on not this frame or the slide, please.
Shotgun, not the
your
8-inch
tubular
barrel,
magazine?
right? Shotgun, not the 10-12-inch barrel we're talking about here.
How many shells can you fit in?
At this point, go subcompact, please.
Yeah.
Oh boy. For all of you patriots out there. Oh, I almost forgot. I almost forgot about Rod. I almost regularly forget about Rod. Let's see how Rod's riding is doing real quick here. I don't actually know which riding Rod lives in, but I'm just going to assume it's part of Vancouver because it's
Yeah.
BC, and BC is beautiful.
He's in Chilliwack, so
Oh,
Oh, so he's got a chance.
Yeah, no, he's actually there's better than even chance. He's going. He is conservative.
Oh, no, there were no write-ins for Rod though.
Nope.
All right.
Oh.
Chilliwack Hope's got 43% conservatives and then NDP and then liberal. And the People's Party, every time I look at a riding, seems to be doing well. Also, dude, the Green Party guy for Chilliwack.
Oh my God, it looks like Lurch.
Well, I was gonna say that, like, shouldn't he be singing about Esmeralda? Like, this is like one phenotype away from the Hunchback of Notre Dame over here.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't be one to pick on people's appearances. I have like no hair left, but like,
Interestingly enough, the Green Party candidate's last name is Green.
That's all the criteria they needed. They didn't even look at the picture. You're in, buddy. Yeah.
Mr. Green, you're in.
I have to apologize to Rod. We couldn't get Rod in the show tonight. Rod didn't have political commentary. He's busy dealing with other things. You should listen to the CCFR podcast if you like classic 80s rock and Rod's lukewarm takes on things. You should check them out.
Thanks, Rod.
Hope you feel better.
I do hope Rod feels better.
Love you, buddy.
Yes.
Also really hoping that as a result of this, that Rod's takes get a little bit nuclear.
Yeah, exactly.
For all of our listeners out there in podcast land, quite possibly for the last time, you are the true north.
The once true north. The once true north.
Wolverines.